Matching the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Georgia Bulldogs. Alabama coach Ray Perkins starting his third season, and this is his Alabama team. Quarterback by junior Mike Shula, bigger, stronger, more ready than a year ago when the Tide was 5-6. And there are more offensive tools available in '85, more speed and more depth. The Bulldog boss, Vince Dooley, his 22nd season, and he very seldom loses an opening game. Starting quarterback is Wayne Johnson. He's a redshirt freshman. Johnson making history tonight. The first black athlete ever to start at quarterback in an opening game for the Georgia Bulldogs. This is Sanford Stadium on the campus of the University of Georgia in Athens. All 82,122 seats have been sold for this one, even though classes have not yet started at the university. The reason is simple. This is Alabama and Georgia, neighborhood rivals in the Southeastern Conference. And over the past 19 years, these two teams have won or shared 16 SEC championships. So there is quality when these two college football teams play. 25 years ago, ABC Sports telecast its first college football game. It was Alabama and Georgia. And hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson, and welcome to CFA Football 1985 as ABC Sports begins its 20th consecutive year of bringing you college football. Normally, our telecast will be seen on Saturday afternoons at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And next Saturday, we have one we think you'll enjoy very much, the Florida State Seminoles and the Cornhuskers of Nebraska at Lincoln. In college football, there is one constant: change. And there are an awful lot of new people to be seen in action tonight. The coach at Alabama, Ray Perkins, is hoping to step beyond the lingering shadow of the bear, and the Georgia coach, Vince Dooley, has recommitted himself to coaching football, having turned down an opportunity to run for the U.S. Senate this past summer. And now, here come the Red Elephants of Alabama. 5-6 a year ago, first losing season in 25 years. Ray Perkins, 13-10 in 2 seasons. He played on 3 SEC champion teams at Alabama, and All-American end in 1966. Here come the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia 7-4-1 last season, tied Florida State in the Citrus Bowl. In the decade of the 80s, Georgia has won 29 and lost only 2 here in Sanford Stadium. To put rocks in Frank Broad's pocket this morning to keep him on the ground. He is so fired up. Frank coming back in his 9th season as our analyst and expert commentator. And, Coach, it's, I think, going to be something of a season of change.
Keith, we're in for one of the most exciting seasons ever in college football. The reason, there's parity. When I was coaching, 3, maybe 4 teams could win the national championship. Today, as many as 15 could win that #1 rank. In fact, Miami and Brigham Young, the last 2 champions, were unranked when the season began. The reason for this, the clearest reason, a change in philosophy. We are seeing passing today. Proficient passing that just neutralizes the great defensive teams. Bear Bryant won 5 national championships running the football, playing defense. Today, that's not true. Passing teams and running teams that mix it are the ones that are going to win. We've seen that already by Brigham Young's Bosco and Purdue's Everett. Outstanding passes.
All right, since you put so much emphasis on it for the season and tonight's ball game, let's talk about the quarterback situation. Alabama starts with Mike Shula. He had a season under his belt. He's bigger and he's stronger going into this one.
As a rookie season, he was a role player. If Alabama's going to turn their program around, he's got to make some things happen. He's got to be more involved in coming through in the big plays, and I think he can. A season of experience makes all the difference in the world. The team has confidence in him, as do the coaches.
At Georgia, there is nothing but inexperience because their only experienced man is hurt, Todd Williams, and even among these promising freshmen, including Wayne Johnson, scheduled to start, there is no real game experience and some injury.
Well, the Georgia 3 quarterbacks that have experience or injuries, so they're likely to start a quarterback that's never played. What this means is Vince doesn't know what's going to happen. He could go out and call a high school play, or he could drop the ball. I think Vince will consider it a victory if he calls the right play, gets the snap, and hands it off to the tailback on the first play. You never know what's going to happen with a young quarterback. Anything, and probably will.
Didn't you tell me once that you had a player who went out to call the first snap of the game, by the time he got to the huddle, he'd forgot it and had to call timeout?
And he came back and asked me to play again. That's what happens, and when the lights are turned on, anything can happen. 82,000 plus people, national television. The opening game, Georgia and Alabama. Every young man on the field feels some of the tension, I'm sure.
CFA College Football. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Nissan, builders of technologically advanced cars and trucks for over 50 years. By Manville, 21,000 people with one goal, to be America's very best supplier. By Coors and Coors Light, beers with a difference worth tasting. And by United Airlines. You're not just flying, you're flying the friendly skies.
Work, hard work. That's what it takes when you want to be what Manville people want to be. The best supplier America deals with, period. These are the hands of Manville people. 21,000 people who know that it takes more than first-rate products to make Manville a first-rate supplier. Those products have to be where you need them, when you need them. Yes, Manville is 21,000 people with one goal, to make Manville America's very best supplier.
I don't usually do this, but I saw this number on TV, and I called it. It's to the National Cancer Institute. And what I found out is pretty convincing. They believe that a high-fiber, low-fat diet may reduce the risk of some kinds of cancer. So I made some changes, like eating All Bran, the natural high-fiber cereal from Kellogg's. You know, I'm glad I called that number.
Kellogg's All Bran. For more facts, call the National Cancer Institute, toll-free.
Nick Fox and James Mackey, investigative reporters who know only one way to get a story. Become a part of it. The Insiders, Wednesdays this fall.
You'll love it.
Power, ambition, and corruption. One man's fall from grace. The Emmy Award-winning miniseries Inside the Third Reich. Starting Wednesday.
As soon as you see an old friend, you start remembering the times you've shared. The places, the faces. And have you noticed old friends don't get older, just better? We've shared some moments, some memories. You might call them classics. So what else could we call this old friend?
We'll say goodbye to Elena right after Bama football.
Perhaps revealing in the case of Kerry Good, who's been suffering with a groin pull for the Tide. Tim Brandt has that story.
Keith, Kerry Good, he played extremely well in the warm-ups. He was pushing off his leg. He was cutting extremely quickly. He's healthy. He will start. Kerry Good is a spectacular athlete. Remember, he had 297 total yards of offense in the first game we did last year against Boston College and 3 touchdowns before he got hurt. But he is back. He has rehabilitated the knee. The groin is okay. He will start. Now on the other side of the field, here at Georgia, Wayne Johnson, the quarterback, the freshman. Now he is a redshirt. He was a little bit tight in warm-ups. A redshirt means he went through all the practices last year, but he did not play in any games. He is ready to go tonight. He's a little bit tight, but Vince Dooley did tell me, Keith, that James Jackson, the MVP of the Citrus Bowl, will play by the end of the first quarter.
Thank you, Timmy, and we're ready to kick it off. The ball is on the tee, and Tron Jackson is deep as Van Tippen comes forward and hits it. Gary Moss is back there with him, and it is Jackson circling under the ball and taking it to the outside, tripped up and brought down around the 18-yard line by Todd Richardson. Here's your starting unit now in the backfield for the Georgia Bulldogs. Wide receiver, it'll be Herman Archie. He's a senior and lanky. Also at wide receiver, Jimmy Hockaday, a senior with experience. Lars Tate will be your running back, big fella, 215. Georgia will have from Rome, David McCluskey, a hard hitter, big fella. And the quarterback, as we told you, is a redshirt freshman and a flag on the first play.
Team, 15 yards, first down.
So Georgia profits from a mistake, over-exuberance perhaps on the part of the Tide, get a 15-yard penalty. The ball comes out to the 34-yard line. And they start with pretty good field position, and here's that important first snap for Wayne Johnson. He gets the snap ball right, and he pitches the ball back to Lars Tate. And Tate's going to have about 6 yards on the carry before Cornelius Bennett brings him down. Here are the big people up front now for Georgia. Wycliffe Lovelace, 6'3", 230. And Victor Perry, 270-pound tackle. William Tong, 240-pound guard. Peter Anderson, 265 at center. Kim Stevens, 245 at guard. And Wilbur Stroja, 245 at tackle. It'll be second down, call it 5 for the Georgia Bulldogs, wearing the red shirts and playing at home. And Johnson handles the second snap all right, and David McCluskey hammers in there for 3. They'll be looking at third down and about 2. The Alabama defensive unit lines up with Soul, Jarvis, and Hand. A 3-man front for them, though those linebackers come up and play sometimes as if to make it a 4- and a 5-man front. Your backers are Rockwell, Davis, Godwin, and Bennett, and the secondary is Robinson, Thomas, Turner, and Wilkinson. Third down and 2 for the Georgia Bulldogs. The ball is at the 42, and the ball goes to Tate, and Tate is hammered. Does not reach the line of scrimmage as Big John Hand, 6'7" and 275 from Sylacauga, Alabama. Nails him down at the 40. And it's a loss of 2 yards. Alabama claiming fumble. The ball was blown dead, and it's 4th down. In comes a brand new punter for the Georgia Bulldogs. His name is Chris Carpenter. He is an all-around athlete, one of the outstanding pitchers on the Georgia baseball team, and highly regarded by the folks in Major League Baseball. He stands 6'1". He's a 185-pound red-shirt freshman from Gainesville.
He was a great quarterback in high school, so look for Georgia to possibly use some plays and passes from punt formation if they reach that occasion.
Greg Richardson, who is a junior from Mobile, the deep man for the Tide. The pressure's on. Bennett got through there, but the kick is away, and it's a beauty. Tremendous hang time for Carpenter. Mistake by Greg Richardson. He gets away with it, but he was buried in a wave of red. Led by John Abram. He should have called fair catch. Saved his life, but I guess he's all right. Greg Richardson opens it wide receiver. Albert Bell is a newcomer, a JC transfer. They say he's great. Craig Turner is a proven performer, a senior at fullback. Kerry Gould will be in there, the speedster, brilliant running back. And the quarterback is Mike Shula from Miami, the son of the Miami Dolphins coach Don Shula. And Alabama will start first down from its own 19. It's a running play, and it goes to Craig Turner, and Turner is swarmed by the Georgia defense, which is their trademark. The tight end, Thornton Chandler, big, 6'6", 240. David Johnson weighs 270 at tackle. David Gilmer, a 250-pound guard. Wes Neighbors, 250 at center. Bill Condon, 240 at guard. And Larry Rose, making history himself, starting as a freshman, a true freshman, 275 pounds from Gadsden. It'll be second down and 8 for white-shirted Alabama. This is Kerry Gould. And Gould is nailed down around the 22, just over the 22. John Brantley at the middle linebacking position, the man that nailed him down. And Brantley is filling a very big hole. Calvin Rupp, Henry Williams, Henry Harris, Kenneth Sims, Greg Waters, John Brantley, and Billy Mitchell are your backers and linemen, with Michael Willis, Gary Moss, John Little, and Tony Flack in the secondary. And Tony Flack started 3 years as a corner and is now in there at free safety. Third down and 6. Shula back to throw. No, gives it to Turner, and Craig Turner goes for a first down.
It was the shovel pass where the quarterback drops the pass, the fullback comes in front and just shovels the ball in front. It's a very safe play. Had it been incomplete, it would not have been a fumble. Georgia was rushing the passer, took themselves right out of the play. Turner makes a nice gain for the first down.
Craig Turner was the designated scorer 2 years ago, and when he played, in fact, as a freshman when he played under Paul Bryant.
12 touchdowns he scored in his sophomore year.
On first down, Shula, with penalty flags fluttering in the air, gives the ball to Kerry Gould, and let's see about the call. The referee is Joe Hicks. He's backed by a veteran crew. The umpire is Pete T. Williams. Here's the call. There's the list of the officials. It's offside against Georgia. George Shupert, the linesman, Bob Caldwell, the line judge, Bill Stanton is a field judge, Ben Oldham, the side judge, and the back judge is Charlie Horton. Frank, the officials have a little different approach in the mechanics of calling a game this year.
Keith, we have 7 officials,
5-yard foul against the defense.
And these 7 officials, the umpire and the referee, do what they've done in the past. The other 5 pick up the receivers man for man as they come off the line of scrimmage to get better detection on pass interference, both offensively and defensively.
And on 1st and 5, Albert Bell goes in motion. Shula pitches to Good. Again, kind of the flags down. Kerry Good's got a first down as he breaks 2 tackles and moves the ball beyond the midfield stripe to the Georgia 49. But let's see about the flag. And it was a lineman who threw it, so something was going along the line of scrimmage that was illegal.
Once again, Georgia trying to penetrate, get the jump on the offense. Left too early. Here's the graphic of what Kerry Good did in the first game of the season last year. He was injured at midway in the 3rd quarter. 297 yards total offense. Kickoff returns, a touchdown running, a touchdown pass receiving. Just an outstanding, spectacular, brilliant ball carrier.
The enthusiasm and/or eagerness of the Georgia defense now, giving Alabama 10 yards and a first down at the Georgia 49. Over the ball is Wes Neighbors, son of Billy. That man in motion turned upfield awfully quick, but no flag on it. Good gets the ball, and he's dropped at midfield and may have lost a yard, though they seem to have marked him up around the line of scrimmage. Boris Becker, the young teenager from West Germany, defeated by Nystrom today in the U.S. Open. That's a stunner. Becker was seeded 8th, Nystrom 10th. There are the other scores. You see McEnroe beating Jan Smith. It is 2nd down. They give Good a yard. 2nd down and 9 from the Georgia 48. First quarter getting underway. First game of the season for both teams. Craig Turner trying to bounce outside. Does get something out of it. Good leg drive by the big fullback, and he's down to about the Georgia 42.
The Georgia defense has been the key for the success of the Bulldogs for years. They play outstanding defense as we look at some more of the scores in the tennis at the U.S. Open.
Navratilova continuing right along. So did Schreiber. Herbert Lloyd winning rather easily. Ball is on the Georgia 42. 3rd down and 3.
This is where Georgia usually excels on 3rd and short yardage. Let's see if they can stop the Alabama team.
They're showing some blitz, and they've stopped them. They give the ball to Turner. Turner crosses the 40, but he is not at the 39, and that's where they had to go.
One play that Georgia coaches were fearful of going into the blitz was the fullback play up the middle. Should they split the guards, he would make a long gain, and that was the play that Alabama had called, anticipating the blitz. Georgia played it beautifully.
They need a full yard, and it looks like Ray Perkins is going to go as he sends in tight end Howard Cross to join Thornton Chandler. And another tight end, Ernest Carroll, is in the ball game. So he's going on 4th and 1.
This is a critical chance that they're taking. The blitz is on. Play action pass, maybe. Oh, he's just
trying to draw him offside.
Yes, he's throwing him offside.
Now you'll take a 5-yard penalty and they'll punt it.
Keith, I think we should mention that Mike Shula, the quarterback for Alabama, is the son of Miami coach Don Shula.
I did.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't remember. Okay.
But I'll tell you, I know why you're bringing it up. As the football sense, the discipline that goes with being Don Shula's son in the game of football.
Alabama a few years ago went into that same situation and snapped the ball and lost the Mississippi State game. Bears last year coaching.
Chris Moore, another outstanding freshman punter for Alabama. High looping kick, trying to kill it deep. Moss is back. Moss calls fair catch, fumbles the ball, and Moore gets more out of that one than perhaps he might have if Gary Moss had just left it alone. Moss is a junior, and he helps Alabama in that instance as he chases the ball back to the 2.
The enemy, heat. It can literally bake the life out of your tires. Hence the design for Vector, Goodyear's unique crisscross tread all-season radial. So advanced, its radial construction works like a built-in cooling system to help the tire run cooler and last longer. The Goodyear Vector. It simply performs like no other tire in the world.
Nissan 300ZX Turbo. You know the car. But do you know what it's like to drive it? Now you know. Once you get inside a Z will get inside of you. For high-performance sports cars like the 300ZX, the name is Nissan.
So the Bulldogs now have a bit of a problem. They're backed up on their own 2-yard line. No score, first quarter, 8:56 to go, and Alabama now will lay the ears back. They could afford to go after them. Double tight end alignment for the Dogs as they pitch it back to Lars Pate. And Pate will have a yard or so as he gets out just over the 3. And there wasn't a lot of foolishness there. Joe Godwin, the inside backer for Alabama, just put his helmet on his numbers and took him down.
The Alabama defense has been coached this year by Joe Kynes, who was at the University of Florida last year. And he has a different scheme, a different concept. Read the block and make the play. Very little stunning or blitzing by the Alabama team, contrary to what we've seen in the past.
Second down and 9 from the 3. The up man, the fullback, gets it. McCluskey, 220-pounder. And he's out to about the 6. So they're looking at third down now. And about 5.5 to go. Vince Dooley.
Vince is one of the great coaches in America. We talked about earlier. His distinguishing quality for success is he knows how to manage people. Players, coaches, fans, students. He just does an excellent job in every category.
Okafor, they're having a good time. Wide man is Fred Lane, and Johnson is in the end zone to throw. Lines it up and lets it fly. And it is incomplete. Fred Lane, the speedster, and he was burning down the sidelines on a fly pattern covered by Freddie Robinson. And as Robinson and a teammate went up for the ball and knocked it away, Lane was well behind him. Had the ball ricocheted just a little bit.
Freshman quarterback Johnson is a pure passer. Not a very good runner. 6'4", 195, has a strong arm. He underthrew this one just a little bit, or it would have been intercepted. Richardson knocked it out of the hands of Turner, or it would have been intercepted.
And so now Carpenter comes in to punt out of the end zone. His first kick was 41 yards tonight. Greg Richardson is deep. No pressure. Kick is out. Pretty good kick to midfield to 49. Richardson takes it. He's got some room. And comes back inside the Georgia 40. It'll be first down Alabama at the Bulldog 39. Will Jones, a sophomore, brought him down. A 43-yard punt that time by Carpenter, but an 11-yard return that time by Richardson.
History. But for a limited time, you can still get 8.8% financing on any tough new Nissan truck. Listen to these savings.
Nissan saved me almost $600.
That's an example of what you can save on Nissan's lowest sticker price truck. How much did you save in interest payments?
Almost $1,300.
How much will you save with 8.8? A lot, if you buy your new Nissan truck right now. The clock is running. The name is Nissan.
New Seagram's Cooler. Taste it all.
Taste it all.
Reward yourself. New Seagram's Cooler. A great break from beer.
Taste it all.
More with it than wine. New Seagram's Cooler.
Taste it all.
A refreshing combination of cool white wine with a touch of crisp, sunny citrus. Tastes clean, fresh, refreshing. You deserve it. Refreshing Seagram's Cooler. It's earned the Seagram name. New Seagram's Cooler.
Taste it all.
Mike Shula comes on the field now as after his visit with his coach Ray Perkins. 7:35 to go in the first quarter, no score. But Alabama now has the ball first down at the Georgia 39. Wycliffe Lovelace, the Georgia tight end, was late coming off the field, shaken up. They're looking at him right now. He's their only true tight end. Clay Whitehurst is in the lineup now for Alabama. Shula off the snap, goes outside to Good, and Good won't get anything out of that one. Pursuit was fine by Brantley. Brantley danced out of his backer position, went to the outside, and took him down. Nebraska, Florida State. It'll be the opening game for the Cornhuskers at home, where they'll have something like their 127th, 128th consecutive sellout. Florida State beat Tulane 38-12 this past weekend, so the Seminoles have a whole lot of freshmen in their lineup. Bobby Bowden got a lot of young folks, but at least they posted one win, and having that one game under your belt sometimes is quite meaningful.
There's more change and improvement after the first game than any other during the season.
Chester Braggs is in at running back, and a penalty flag down as the ball is handed to Craig Turner, the fullback. And Turner moves from about the 41 to about the 39.
Georgia jumping off sides. What's happening? Alabama are changing their snap count from a quick count to a delayed count. Georgia arguing that Alabama moved. Little did jump. If Alabama offensive lineman moved, then it is offside Alabama. Nope. Georgia was arguing. All right, Little, number 19, is the replacement for the All-American Terry Holt. Has had an outstanding season last year. Bill Lewis, the defensive coordinator, says he's one of their great football players. Just makes the big play.
Dead ball foul, encroachment against the defensive team, 5 yards.
Well, that's the third flag against the Georgia defense in the ball game for 15 yards. Yankees beat Seattle today on this Labor Day and do not gain anything as the Blue Jays win again behind Steve and Baltimore. Trounces Oakland with McGregor picking up the win. It is 2nd down and 5. Ball just inside the 35 for Alabama. And it goes to the fullback Turner straight ahead. And there is a mighty collision as he reaches the 32.
Georgia, as we look at Ray Perkins, who was a great player, as we've already earlier mentioned, that Alabama, coached in pro ball, has a very tough task of trying to replace Bear Bryant. You're not going to replace him. You just hope you can win and win enough games to have a good program. You're not going to replace Bear Bryant. He won 13 championships at Alabama, conference championships, and 5 national.
Silly to keep harping on it.
That's correct.
I don't know why they keep doing it, because that era is over. 3rd down and 3. Quarterback draw. Schuler dives for the first down. It looks like he's short.
The Georgia defense primarily is a swarming defense, trying to stop the wide plays, limit your passing to short passes, but they are the best at blitzing, surprise blitz of any team in America.
How many walls of the room did the Georgia defensive scheme contain yesterday?
In talking to the defensive coaches, they had their defensive scheme. It took up 4 blackboards. That's the multiple defensive scheme to try to confuse the offensive blockers of the opposing team, thereby losing their aggressiveness.
4th and 1. Second time Alabama's gone for it in this first quarter. They go over the top with Chester Braggs, and the junior from Greensboro, Alabama, has the first down for the Tide at about the Georgia 28.
Chief, for a season, if a team takes the ball over first down inside the 50-yard line, which Alabama took it over on the 40, they'll score 65% of the time. You can take the season 65% of the time. We could look for Alabama to get some points starting with the ball on Georgia's 40.
I guess last time they went for the long count, tried to draw Georgia offside, and then took the penalty and punted it. But this time they went over the top and got it. This is Good back in the ball game. And Perry runs it from about the 28 near the 25.
When a team runs wide against Georgia, those red and black uniforms, you can take a roll call for the number of players that stop the wide plays. Georgia is weak up the middle as a rule, but teams aren't patient enough to stay inside, Keith. They just want to make the big play. And Alabama is more of a finesse coach team than they are power. Look for big plays on first down.
Georgia has gone to a nickel defense now. Miles Smith, number 2, is in it as an extra defensive back. And Albert Bell goes in motion.
Here's the blitz.
And they give it to Kerry Good, and Good is really walloped. He took a lick as he got down to about the 23, and this time it was Bill Mitchell out of Dalton, Georgia, who hit him.
Why does a coach start out conservatively in the first ball game? Primarily, they don't have all the facts they need to set up a game plan. They don't know what to expect from the opposing team being the first game, and now they're getting a feel a little bit of what Georgia's going to do, and I think we'll see Alabama maybe open up a little bit more. Schuler has got to make the big play. 3rd and 5, it's up to him to make the play in these critical situations.
Good has 20 yards on 6 carries. Now they send an extra lineman in because Georgia's anticipating that he won't pass, but he does go for the pass. The blitz on, the pass thrown down the middle, intercepted by Tony Flack. Tony Flack at free safety is loose on the sidelines, and he comes all the way back outside the 30, and a penalty flag is thrown. He may have a clip downfield.
Keith, I saw the block. I thought it was a legal block. You cannot block below the waist on any change of possession. That rule was put in to provide the safety and protect the safety of the players. I did not think it was a clip. Maybe it's some other block. I saw the track back block by the Georgia defensive lineman. No, it was a clip. It must have been a different play. But the blitz got to Shula. He should have stayed in the pocket, not thrown the ball away. The blitz was on, man for man, disrupted. Georgia are just expert at disrupting the pass pattern. As Bell was trying to come across the middle, he was shoved, and the pattern was broken off, and Shula threw for the interception.
So Georgia loses some of that field position as the ball comes back to the 11.
Here, Doris. Got a meeting in Davenport. Be back tomorrow.
United Airlines salutes the first person who figured out that flying to a business meeting was a pretty good idea.
Afternoon. Car's broke down a couple miles back. Gonna miss a big meeting in Davenport.
That's so.
Say, could you, fly me there and back?
Let me get this straight. You want me to fly you there, sit there and wait for you while you have this meeting, then fly you back?
Through the years, the Friendly Skies has flown a whole lot of business people. We found it pays to listen to them.
Thanks for flying me. Next time, maybe you could have some coffee on board.
You're not just flying. Let me get this straight. You want coffee on the plane while we're in the
flying
the Friendly Skies.
The Georgia Bulldogs at the 11-yard line after the interception. Let's go back to the play that gave them the ball. Now, this is Albert Bell, the junior college transfer. It's my impression, having already looked at this, that he more or less runs into the defender.
He does, but basically the defender, Moss, is perfectly legal. He can shiver the receiver until the ball is in the air.
Running play with Lars Tate carrying, and certainly nothing fancy about it. 215-pounder out of Indianapolis, just bangs into Rockwell and Hand. And
Keith, there are three ways to play the pass and defensive game. Rush the passer or disrupt the patterns. Georgia are very effective at disrupting the patterns, as we just saw.
Maybe 2-yard pickup by Tate on the carry. Lovelace is in the lineup, all right for Georgia. Back goes Johnson to throw it. Ball is batted down by Cornelius Bennett. Incomplete.
Cornelius Bennett was an All-American last year as a sophomore, number 97, one of the dominant football players in the South. He's 6'4", runs a 4.4 40, weighs 235. Can be one of the great players. He's knocked down, but like all great football players, they bounce up, and now he obstructs the view of the quarterback, Johnson, and deflects the ball incomplete.
And now Fred Lane has come into the lineup for Speedster. The pitch goes back, however, to Lars Tate, and Cornelius Bennett pins him down for a loss inside the 10.
You football fans have heard the name Lawrence Taylor. Ray Perkins coached Lawrence Taylor with the New York Giants and says that Bennett, number 97, is a similar type player. Tremendously gifted athlete.
And once again, young Chris Carpenter comes out now to punt out of his end zone. His first two kicks have been 41 and 43 yards. And again, Greg Richardson is the deep man. There's no pressure. Good high-hanging kick up around midfield. Richardson takes it at the 49 and goes down at midfield. And he is cut down by Keith Henderson, a freshman tailback, after a 39-yard punt. 2:45 to go first quarter.
This new Nissan is being delivered to the Watson estate. Can you tell who ordered it? Here are some clues. It's America's best-selling import. Room for 5. Front-wheel drive. Surprising performance. It's the Nissan Sentra. So affordable, anyone could have done it. Even the butler, who solved the mystery of desirable, inexpensive transportation. The name is Nissan.
You know, I've been a beer drinker for a bunch of years. Like you, I've seen a lot of beer commercials. There's one beer that people loved before it was even advertised. You see, Coors was kind of the beer at my folks' place. People thought it was different, special. That was true long before there were any jingles or promotions. It's the product people love, not the hoopla. You think about that. How many products can you say that about? Coors is the one.
CFA football action keeps on rolling as highly touted Nebraska takes on Florida State. Saturday, live at 3 o'clock Eastern on ABC Sports.
Another look at 97, Cornelius Bennett.
Bennett is now on the right side of the Alabama defense. Great football players are at the right place at the right time. That's a perfect example of Bennett just dominating the play as he did many times last season.
Mike Bobo is in at fullback. Chester Braggs at tailback, and Bobo on a carry. Big man, 5'11", 220 square. A sophomore from Crossville, Alabama, and he's picked up almost 4 yards on that bounce over the left side. And he's brought down by John Little, who is playing the rover or strong safety. This is the spot that Terry Hogue played to All-American status. Now John Little is doing the job.
It's sort of a freelance position. He plays out on the weak side. He's uncovered, meaning no offensive blocker has a position on him, and he can just play the football. Instinct, awareness, that's the name of the game for John Little.
Second down and call it 7 as Braggs carries and gets near the 45. They'll be looking at 3rd down and 5. And again, there is the example of that swarming Georgia defense.
Once again, as we look at Ray Perkins, again, Alabama has the ball on Georgia's territory, 3rd down. Critical situation we talked about, but Bill Lewis, the Georgia defensive coordinator, is a brilliant football coach, and he defends his opponent with strategy more than just players. A lot of different looks and a lot of different blitzes.
Exactly on the 45 for the 3rd down snap. They've got to go to the 40.
They're defending this time. 3-man rush.
Option play. Outside goes. Braggs pulls it down, gets loose, picks up the 1st down. Good run by Chester Braggs.
Excellent blocking by Bobo, the fullback, allowing number 24 Bobo as a walk-on. Junior college player, as Shula is now running the option play, something that they didn't do last year. And now Braggs cuts back inside of the block of the end and the fullback and makes the 1st down. 3rd and 5, critical play for Alabama.
Another thing, too, as we come toward the end of the 1st quarter, the Georgia defense has been on the field virtually the entire quarter, and it's a hot, muggy night. Ball is just over the 40 of Georgia.
He's got to take his toll in the 4th quarter.
Yes, sir. Shula down the middle with it. Bell throws it in. Perfect throw this time by Shula. And Bell broke his pattern a little sharper and got loose with that great speed of his, and it's a 1st down, Alabama, near the Georgia 23.
This is the first time that Alabama has thrown on 1st down. Kind of a gadget play, faking the Statue of Liberty, and Bell is going in behind the linebackers. Georgia linebackers dare not drop that deep. Richardson had decoyed Flack out of the play, and you can see in the middle 5, 6 Georgia players, but the opening of the passing lane behind the linebackers was there.
And from the 23, here goes Bobo inside the 20 to the 19. Make it 22, closer mark there, so you'll have about a 3-yard carry on that play.
On that last successful completed pass, Shula showed a great deal of poise and a good, strong arm. The coaches tell us that he is strong. His arm is more forceful this year. He threw the ball over the linebackers with enough zing on it that safety man had no chance to make the play.
Weight program and threw it about 55,000 times this summer.
Stayed at school and worked out every day trying to improve his passing. 1st quarter is over.
So after 15 minutes of play at Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia, there is no score between the Tide and the Dogs.
Let me show you an old mechanic's trick. When you do a tune-up, make sure you don't forget the PCV valve and the gas filter. Leave the old ones in and you can get starting problems and stalling. And don't try to save a few cents on no-name brands. Put in those you've heard of, like Fram. After all, if you're going to all the trouble of a tune-up, why not use parts from a company that's gone to all the trouble to make good ones? Fram. Fram, a good name to go with.
The essence of bobsledding.
Alabama has the football at the Georgia 19 as we start the 2nd quarter of play. There is no score. It is 2nd down and about 6, and a long 6 for Alabama as Bell goes wide to the right and Richardson to the left, and the Alabama offense has been relatively conservative to this point.
This is a blitzing situation for Georgia.
Ball is handed off, goes to Bobo, Mike Bobo, number 24, and it's just straight ahead. Bang, bang, and he moves down to about 15.
Here the stats reflect exactly what we saw. Georgia has not made a first down. They've had very poor field position. They have a young quarterback who has never played before, but now we're looking at Alabama with 5 first downs. In the time of possession, 10 minutes for Alabama, 4 for Georgia, but Georgia has kept them away from that goal line. That's the name of the game.
They need about 4 on 3rd down.
Here comes the blitz again.
And that puts him in man coverage. Shula drops. He looks for Bell. He's wide open. Ray Perkins was very, very exuberant, just effusive in his praise of Albert Bell, and here's an example of why.
Bell runs a post corner. He's going to go to the goal post and then break out. He turns Black, the senior cornerback, all the way around, and he's wide open for the touchdown, and Shula very wisely just threw it out there with tissue paper wrapped around it where he couldn't miss it.
And Van Tippen, who's never missed an extra point at Alabama, stands in there. 63 out of 63, and now make it 4. And the Crimson Tide of Alabama goes to a lead early in the second quarter of play with this touchdown pass from Mike Shula to Albert Bell, 7-0.
The role of Bell is to sell the inside fake. He really does a job because Black turns inside. Now he's open for the touchdown. We'll be right back.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Meet Nissan's hottest truck, the best-selling King Cab. And now with 8.8% financing, it's even hotter. 8.8 plus 9 cubic feet of lockable storage and jump seats behind the buckets. 8.8 can save you hundreds of dollars in interest on any new Nissan truck. Yahoo! Jump into 8.8, but hurry, the time's running out. The savings are amazing. The name is Nissan.
There's a style in your life no one could ever deny. You're on your way to the top, and along the way you've always known just who you are. Where you're going, you've always known it. Where you're going, it's Michelob.
Where you're going, it's exceptionally smooth Michelob.
Where you're going, it's Michelob.
Next Monday night in one of football's fiercest rivalries, the Washington Redskins tackle the Dallas Cowboys. Live at 9 Eastern on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football.
7-0 tie as Van Tippen now will kick it off. Fred Lane will drop back as a kick returner along with Tron Jackson for Georgia. 14-18 to go in the first half. High kick. It's a little short for Jackson at the 4. Gets a crack in there and runs it out to about the 24.
Tony Flack, number 8, has started 3 years for Georgia. Really a great player. But you can see the effectiveness of Bell's fake. He's going to go for the goalpost, and when he does, Flack turns all the way around. That's how not to play man-for-man pass defense. And by the time that he gets back turned to receiver, Bell wide open, touchdown.
Total offense, Alabama 103 yards so far, and Georgia 10. And back goes Johnson, a little swing pass to the outside for Tron Jackson, and Jackson gets up to about the 25 for a 2-yard pickup on the play. Georgia. You can't keep giving a team like Alabama field position, though, Frank, and they had field position the whole quarter. Sooner or later, they're going to stick in the end zone.
The reason Alabama had field position is Georgia offense could not make a first down. Had Georgia offense made a first down or two, the punt would eventually put Alabama out of good field position. Georgia has got to move the ball. They've got to open up and do something to get out of that rut that they're in.
Keith Henderson is in there, and Wayne Johnson roll-out pass to the sideline, and it's pulled in by Fred Lane, number 4. The speedster from Decatur, Frank's hometown. He's good out to about the 32, but he is short of a first down. Next Monday night, ABC's NFL Monday Night Series will open with Frank Gifford, Joe Namath, and O.J. Simpson. And it's the old traditional in the NFL, the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys. That'll be at 9 Eastern time.
That'll be a great ball game. That's one of those big head-knocking games. Both teams hate each other.
Jackson gets the first down. Ron Jackson, among the many fighting for the starting job at tailback. And he is stopped just short of the 40, and the Bulldogs finally have a first down and finally have some decent field position.
What happens when you loosen up the defense with a pass and complete a couple, you then can finally run the football some, and that's what happened in the last play. Here we look at Jackson, James Jackson, who was the most valuable player in the Citrus Bowl game last year. Very talented young man, has been injured with a sprained ankle, but seems ready to play.
Tim Worley, another freshman running back, is in there at the tailback spot out of Billy Joe Patton's hometown of Lumberton, North Carolina. And he moves from the 40 out to the 42 and picks up 2 yards. He's another fellow that Vince Dooley thinks is going to be a fine player, 6'2" and 210. They've got very young people, but they've got very big people in those running back spots.
They've been able to recruit good running backs since Herschel left. The good running backs in this area didn't want to go to Georgia because they knew Herschel was going to be the tailback.
And timeout call by Georgia. Looked like they had the wrong people in the wrong place, and so rather than put that kind of pressure and offer the opportunity for a mistake for young Wayne Johnson, they spend a timeout. 12:38 to go in the first half.
To help get your car ready for fall, quality Pennzoil motor oil in this easy pour plastic bottle is on sale now. No coupons, no rebates, just real savings on all the Pennzoil you can get your hands on. So stock up now on that great Pennzoil protection. Quality Pennzoil in this handy plastic bottle and on sale. Now that's a real deal.
This is one of Nissan's most technologically advanced cars. It has computer-controlled carburation, a 4-cylinder overhead cam engine, 5-speed transaxle for precise front-wheel drive handling. Surprisingly, this is also Nissan's lowest-priced car, the Sentra, America's best-selling import. For an economy car that doesn't skimp on technology, the name is Nissan.
12:38 to go in the first half, and now Georgia getting a little bit of operation efficiency from its offensive team. They send Fred Lane in motion. Johnson is still the quarterback. Jackson was warming up. Johnson throws it, goes deep with it, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Herman Archie, a wide receiver, number 81. Herman Archie has good size. He's 6'5" and 200 pounds. On that play, defended by Rory Turner, and those who, the faithful of Alabama, will certainly remember Rory Turner because he made the tackle on Brett Fullwood that kept Auburn out of the end zone in that final game a year ago in Legion Field.
Let's see how Georgia protects the passer and blocking on the great football player, Cornelius Bennett, number 97. They put both the tailback and the fullback to keep him out and give the quarterback Johnson time to throw.
Back goes Johnson again on 3rd down and 7. Shoots it, pass caught by Hockaday. And Jimmy Hockaday fighting, trying to get loose, and he can't do it. He cannot break the grip of Joe Godwin until help arrives, and down he goes. Randy Rockwell finally made the tackle.
Most of the yardage in passing today is made after the catch. Good football teams swarm the receiver, trying to hold the yardage gained after the catch to a minimum. Here's an example of the linebackers covering deep. They'll swarm right up on the receiver. 3 Alabama people there to make the play and prevent the first down.
At least Chris Carpenter now on 4th and 2 has some real estate behind him. He surely will be more comfortable on this punt. It is Richardson deep to receive it.
Goodness gracious, Steve.
What a beautiful high-hanging punt. Hits at the 5, bounces, and it's in the end zone.
Now, the Georgia man batted the ball back. That's a foul. There's no penalty, but it's a foul. The ball will come back to the 20-yard line.
It'll be first down, Alabama at the 20. As we told you when we came on the air, it was 25 years ago at Legion Field in Birmingham that ABC Sports, as now constituted, did its first college football game. Leonard Goldenson, Mr. Goldenson, was the chairman of the board then, and Ed Shurik was the president of ABC. Chet Simmons was part of the ABC Sports management team.
It comes back to the 20-yard line. Touchback, 1st and 10.
And Roone Arledge, who is the president of ABC Sports and News now. Roone was the producer of the game. Bill Bennington An old friend was the director. And the announcer was Kurt Gowdy and Paul Christman with Bob Neal on the sidelines. And Chuck Howard, who has been the producer of college football for so long, was then a production assistant.
A PA. I didn't know he ever was a PA.
Oh, yes. Done it all. Here's the pitch. It goes back to Kerry Good. And Good running slanting, actually. And I haven't been able to determine, because we have not seen him in a position of really getting fancy as to whether or not he's completely stable. He's a big fella. He's 6 feet tall, 195 pounds from Town Creek, Alabama. But in his freshman year, and certainly last year in the 2.5 quarters against Boston College, he was showing us the kind of quality play that may well make him an All-American.
He ran 86 yards for a touchdown against Tennessee as a freshman.
Yep. Fumbles the football. Georgia dives for it. Good follows it. Let's see who's got it.
Oh, they're scrambling for it, Keith. They're still fighting for it. A tie. Both players have it. It goes to the offense. Oh, that would be a break for Georgia.
Taking a while to unwind them, isn't it?
Yes. Well, they give it back to Alabama.
Kerry followed the ball. He went right after. Henry Harris was in the melee. Big Henry, number 52, fighting for it.
Georgia front three. Good at penetrating. The ball is on the ground right now. Let's see if we can detect who fell on it. Now, Good has it right now. It's on the ground, but Good fell right on it.
Big Henry came in there and laid his bull trying to knock it out, but he couldn't do it. It's 3rd down and 5 for the Tide. They lead 7-0. 10:25 to go in the first half. Shula hands, Good breaks, and gets a first down. Well, we see him run in real traffic with some authority, and he looks just fine.
It seems that the Alabama offensive plan is to run trap plays on the Georgia team that are penetrating, trying to give the big loss to the Alabama team. Let one man across the line and then block him from the side. It's very effective against the Georgia defense.
But Frank, the Georgia offense has got to get out there and stay a while and let that defensive bunch rest some.
They're tired, you're right, and they don't have the depth at Georgia on this defensive team they've had in the past. They've had some key injuries, such as Boswell, the linebacker.
This is Good again. Penalty flag goes down. Number 42, John Brantley, had a shot at him, but John couldn't get him. You're not going to one-leg him.
You know, Keith, defensive schemes and offensive strategy, they're like fads and fashions. About every 2 or 3 years they change in college. But Vince Dooley's defense is the same that he's been using since he came to Georgia in 1964, and they know how to play it.
And Alabama is nailed with a holding call right here. So while they mark this off, going back and still remembering over that 1960 game, listen to some of these names now. 8 of the players at Alabama have gone on to become coaches or still are, including Bill Battle,
holding penalty by the offense.
Bud Moore, Charlie Pell, Jimmy Sharp, Richard Williamson, Bill Oliver, Mickey Andrews, Leon Fuller. Leon, of course, out at CSU, Colorado State now. And Pat Trammell, of course, Tim Davis, Gary Phillips. They became doctors. Butch Henry became a dentist. Leroy Jordan and Billy Neighbors. Billy, the father of Wes Neighbors, the current Alabama center. All-Americans on that team. And I left out the name of Tom Moore, who was very much involved with the ABC sports operation back in those days, and eventually became the president of the television network. And there are just so many people that you can remember from 25 years ago, and it's fun to watch and see how so many have gone on to success.
Was that the 61 Alabama team or the
1960?
60 team.
1960.
Yes, that squad went on and played in the Bluebonnet Bowl, played Oklahoma in the or SMU in the Bluebonnet Bowl, and then we played them in the Sugar Bowl when they were national champions the next year.
Right now, Alabama, after being hit with the big penalty, looking at 2nd down and about 17. The football is resting at the 24, and here comes Chester Braggs, number 30. And Braggs has jumped on. Number 57 diving in there, Kenny Sims for Georgia. He's out of Greenville, South Carolina, and a 5th-year senior, helping on the play Bill Mitchell. Here are some of the players who lost their jobs, at least temporarily today. Jimmy Zorn cut by the Seattle Seahawks. Jack Thompson cut by Tampa Bay Bob Avellini cut by the Jets. Pisarcik cut by Miami. Of course, Marino is back there now. Ron Springs is cut by Dallas. Goodness sakes, look at that.
He was a starter last year.
Yeah, Peoples, of course, cut by Detroit. There's Reese and a number of others. You look at them. I got to watch what's going on the field. It's 3rd down and 13. And now Shula, not liking what he is seeing on 3rd and long and the play that had been wigwagged in from the sideline. So Mike calls a time to visit with Ray Perkins and the offensive coordinator. You've got 8:16 to go in the first half.
The proof begins where the road ends. Tough, independent front suspension makes Nissan 4x4s easy to handle. And Nissan's 8.8% truck financing makes the payments easy to handle. You can save hundreds of dollars in interest on any new Nissan truck. Up to $1,300 on this King Cab 4x4. But hurry, the time is running out. Get your 4x4 with 8.8 now. The savings are big. The name is Nissan.
Catch the rays, feel the heat, breeze on out to the summer beach. Turn it loose with the silver bullet. All you have to do is pull it. Grab a hold of a cold Coors Light. The flavor's heavy, the weight is right. The silver bullet won't slow you down. Feel the beat. Keep it light, party right. Turn it loose with the silver bullet tonight.
Coors Light Beer.
When the quarterback calls time and goes to the sidelines, he normally talks to the head man. Well, here's what Ray Perkins says about young Shula.
He's bigger and he's stronger. He's worked extremely hard. He's one of those guys that's stayed around campus there all summer and went to summer school and worked extremely hard through the summer, and it's really paid off for him because he's throwing the ball much better. He's got a lot more velocity on the ball, and he's sharper mentally than he was last year at this time. He's a lot better quarterback on the field general. He's a lot better at that.
An unusual call on 3rd down and 13 as they run a draw with a fullback, Craig Turner. He gets seal blocking on the left side. He caught Georgia flat-footed. He runs for a first down out at the 42.
Georgia had showed the blitz, then they backed out, and as Keith said, Turner just broke outside of where the play was designed to go and made the first down. Georgia was in a perfect defense to play it. They just didn't make the play.
Make it the 41. And Alabama with another first down. 7:50 to go first half. The defense of Georgia stays on the field on a hot night. And Alabama keeps pounding at them. Braggs carries there, gets short yardage. And when Alabama is pounding on you, let me tell you why you get tired. Johnson, 270. Gilmer, 250. Neighbors, 250. Condon, 240. Rose, 275. And the people behind them aren't much smaller.
Well, Neighbors, the center, was second-team all-conference last year. He's the son of the All-American Billy Neighbors, and the Georgia coaches tell me if you watch him block, you'll say he's the equal of any in America.
Second down and 7. The ball squirts loose off the snap.
The official is taking time to unpile the players. Georgia thinks they've got the ball.
Does Bill Lewis teach the defensive unit to automatically point the other way when there's a fumble?
I think that's just natural instinct, Keith. You don't have to coach that. Here's some scores over the weekend, Keith.
Gladman shows considerable promise for the Panthers. Of course, Everett, you know a lot about him. And Bosco had a huge night in the opener in beating Boston College. Kansas and Hawaii and Kansas had graphic is self-explanatory. Big passing night, though, for Mike Norseth in South Carolina. Looks like it's going to be right there with the elite of the nation again. Ball is just short of the 45 now, and it's 3rd down and about 7 with 3 wide people in the game. And out of the shotgun, Shula. A little shovel pass to the fullback, Turner. Turner is good for the first down, but they're penalty flags. I think you might have a little motion.
Turner was a little bit eager to step up and come across for the shovel pass. Alabama ran this pass out of the regular formation last time. This time they were in the shotgun. The first time that we've seen them in the shotgun. The play will be brought back, and it will be 3rd down and about, what, 12, Keith?
Mm-hmm.
So now Shula has that long yardage again. Watch Turner on the middle of your screen, the bottom of your screen, I should say, number 44, steps up ahead of the snap.
Have illegal motion, 5-yard penalty.
Now, this is a typical Georgia situation to blitz, but Georgia had a touchdown pass thrown on it the last time they tried to blitz and cover man for man. It's going to be interesting to see if they've lost any confidence in what they have normally done best, rush the quarterback.
It's third and close to 12.
Nope, they're defending, Keith.
Braggs and Bobo in the backfield. Shula option goes to Braggs. And he does not get the first down, though he did get some good blocking to turn him upfield, but Tony Flack finally came in and made the tackle. I would imagine Tony's a little hot after being burned a while ago by Al Bell for the touchdown.
Here's what some of the other scores. Oregon, boy, your alma mater had a great game going there for a while, didn't you? 42-39.
They lost.
They lost, yep.
Too bad. That's, I tell you, though, Rich Brooks' Oregon Ducks are going to cause some trouble in the Pac-10. You wait and see.
Here's the short punt formation.
Georgia's not sure they're going to do it. Remember, Moore is a fine athlete.
He was a quarterback.
Yes, he was. He can do things for you.
They're just standing punt formation, trying to draw them all sides.
It's when you've had a fellow who's doing your punting, who's been that kind of an athlete, a quarterback. He ran for 1,000 yards or more in high school. He wants to play tight end if he can't play anyplace else. He comes out of the hometown
game, 5-yard penalty, still fourth down.
Of Ray Guy of the Raiders, Thompson, Georgia. So I'm sure that Ray's success has had some impact on him as well. But now he goes back in deep punt formation, and Georgia sends Keith Henderson deep this time to accept the punt. I don't think Henderson's deep enough.
He'll be high enough he can go back and catch it if he kicks like he did before.
It's a high snap.
Good thing he was 6'4".
Well, that's a hanger, isn't it?
That's a fair catch. Oh, that's it.
Takes an Alabama bounce, and it is down at the Georgia 17.
Keith went out of bounds on the 30.
Did he hit up there on the
12? Right on the bounds. Yeah,
so they've marked it out up at the 30-yard line.
For over 300 years, they've been coming.
You are a dreamer until your dreams come true.
And while most haven't brought riches, they have brought dreams.
Then you're a leader, and they're all looking up to you. You have the courage to see your dreams through. The dreamer, the leader, they're one and the same in you.
At the Wall Street Journal, we believe that the most precious resources a country can have are the hopes of its people, because tomorrow's achievements grow out of today's dreams.
You have the courage to see your dreams through. Your dreams through. The dreamer, the leader, the one and the same in you.
The Wall Street Journal, the daily diary of the American dream.
Sunday, Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, and John Candy in Stripes.
The offense for both teams has been very, very conservative. Georgia's may change. James Jackson is in at quarterback now, hobbling around on a sore ankle in the Citrus Bowl. He was voted the MVP. Lars Tate and David McClusker behind him. Jackson, good speed, good arm, goes to the sidelines and misses the intended receiver. It was Cassius Osborne, a sophomore from Statesboro. Jackson is not the biggest fella in the quarterback competition at Georgia, 5'11", 175, but he has great mobility, and he has a tremendous arm.
Georgia will change their offense with a running quarterback. Jackson is an excellent runner. He averaged over 6 yards a try rushing last year in the Georgia Tech and the Citrus Bowl, 2 games that he played.
Second down and 10 from the 30. Options it, pitches it back to Tate. Lars makes a good play to get the ball, breaks it upfield, and picks up a first down for the Bulldogs out around the 42 before Rory Turner makes the tackle.
Alabama is complaining a little bit about a clip. It looked like the Georgia men at the top of your screen. Let's see if we can see the clip that Alabama is complaining about coming right there, right at the top of this wide receiver. Seemed to clip the cornerback and give the ball carrier a chance to break into the secondary. That's only Georgia's second first down of the ball game.
And it's at their own 42. Stanley Blaylock is in the lineup now. Jackson pitches back to Tate. They reverse the ball. Here comes Blaylock around. Great speed, the fastest man. Fumbles the football, but Georgia covers it. Jackson, following the play, falls on the ball. So there is a loss on the play and almost loss of the ball as Randy Rockwell, the outside linebacker on the left side, really stuck one on Stanley Blaylock.
Alabama is a fundamental playing defensive team. I don't think they're too subject to the reverse. And you see Bennett, number 57, knock the ball right out of Blaylock. Oh, it was Rockwell, number 57. Rockwell. Yes, 57, Rockwell, the 189-pound defensive end.
From about the 32, Jackson gets good protection, goes down the field with it. Hockaday, first down inside the Alabama 25. I told you Jackson had a gun.
The Georgia coaches say that Jackson has the strongest arm. Here's a good illustration of what it takes to throw the ball deep down the middle, hit the receiver on the target before the two safety men can roll back into the middle and make the play. Excellent, excellent execution on the part of the Georgia team.
Jimmy Hockaday, the flanker, gives them a first down at the Alabama 24, far and away their greatest penetration. And the ball goes to the ground as Tate dives for it, and penalty flags are thrown in the hump. So Tate never really had a handle, and Lars was just diving after it. And the flags. Holding, Georgia.
Well, let's look at the pass completion again and see the action of the quarterback, Jackson, just a sophomore. Played only a little bit at the tail end of the season. Look at the arm. Without much effort, he just rifles the ball down, splits the safety man, 21 and Richardson and 37 Turner. Hockaday jumps and pulls it in, gives Georgia a chance.
But the holding call backs him up outside the 34. And Quan Jackson goes in at tailback now behind McCluskey.
He's the best pass receiver, the tailback.
They need 20 yards for the first down. The ball is handed to the up man, and it is McCluskey down to near the 20.
Boy, Keith, that's the advantage of having a fullback who does something besides block and run short yardage. McCluskey was a tailback last year, had a 7-yard average, although he didn't play very much. You can see he has the running ability. He sees the cut, the opening, and he knifes back and makes the big gain.
Ball inside the 21. We're at second down and 7 now. They've got 13 to the 20 on that carry. And Jackson rolls it. And he keeps it. And he's just about back to the line of scrimmage. He wanted to let it go for Herman Archie. But then he realized that Archie was going to draw company, lots of it, Freddie Robinson in particular.
Here's a breakdown of the offense. Georgia's catching up a little bit on Alabama. Keith, Georgia has to think differently on this part of the field than they have in the last 3 years. Kevin Butler was one of the great field goal kickers of all time. Georgia has a freshman this year who's never kicked before. They're going to concentrate and try to score and not try to go for the field goal if they can.
3rd and 8 now. Jackson got a problem, but runs away from part of it and gets back to the line of scrimmage. He almost popped out of there. But Soule and Davis were the two people who had penetrated, and then Bennett came up and closed the escape route. And now they're looking
for a field goal.
Field goal.
Chumley is a freshman redshirt, straight-on kicker. The first Georgia has had kicking from front of the ball since 1972.
He follows, steps into some big shoes. Kevin Butler, of course, kicked for 4 years here. Chris Carpenter, the punter, will hold it. This will be a 37-yard field goal try. Everything good. Kick is up. And the kick is good. And there's a penalty flag at the line of scrimmage.
Keith, if it's roughing the holder, which it might be, it could be 15 yards and a first down. If it's just running into the holder, it's 5 yards and it's not a first down, and Georgia's got a tough decision.
Well, Richardson came in and got involved in that melee. Alabama's Todd Richardson. Let's see what they decide.
Question of whether it's running into the kicker or holder or whether it's roughing. Well, it looks like it.
I think they're going to eat the flag.
Well, they talk. Refuse it. Never take points off the scoreboard.
Right.
I agree with that decision.
They could have accepted it, but in doing so would have taken the 3 parts off of it. So 7-3 now as the Bulldogs get on the board.
Roger, you've procrastinated long enough. Now's the time to insulate. It'll mean a warmer house this winter, potential savings on your energy bills. And Roger, don't forget the federal energy tax credit. It runs out at the end of 1985. Plus, get a fall outing gift free for insulating with CertainTeed fiberglass insulation. So, Raj, get off your hammock and into your CertainTeed dealer now for complete details. Because nobody rewards you like CertainTeed.
When the Big Q flows, America goes.
Hey, this truck runs and we don't.
Only gets Big Q. Quaker State.
You can depend on number 1.
You know, Pop, they start with Pennsylvania grade crude.
Nothing like Quaker State.
Unique formula. Stable viscosity, keeps the oil flowing, protecting, no matter what.
No substitute for quality. I got 2 great partners.
Quaker State. The Big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will. Save up to $2.40. Maybe win a new Corvette. See retailer for details.
CFA football action keeps on rolling as highly touted Nebraska takes on Florida State. Saturday, live at 3 o'clock Eastern on ABC Sports.
A 7-3 ball game. Alabama, 1:16 to go. In case you're wondering why they refused the penalty, it's a 5-yard penalty running into the kicker. They would not have had the first down. And they'd still been looking at 4th down and considerable, so why take the 3 points off the board? They didn't. And Crumley kicks off now. It is Chester Braggs, the man in the middle, going back into his end zone. That's a good kick by Crumley. Wow. Steve getting all wound up here. He knocks his first collegiate field goal through and now just hammers it deep in the end zone. Here's the penalty call. You'll see the Alabama player, Todd Richardson, run into Crumley, the kicker.
When the kicker has his foot in the air, he has to have time to regain his balance. Even though it looked to me like the Chumley's foot was getting close to the ground, he had not, in the eyes of the official, had time to regain his balance. That's a safety protection rule to protect those kickers who are vulnerable when they're in that position.
Now the Tide with 1:16 left in the first half. Go to work. Shula turns and gives the ball to Turner. And Craig Turner with Kerry Good in the backfield with him. Punches in for a couple of yards. So it looks like they're going to remain conservative to the clubhouse.
Both teams have 2 timeouts left. I don't believe either will exercise. Both teams wanting to go into the halftime with this present score of 7-3. Not take any chances on this part of the field. Georgia defense love to have teams take chances. As Vince Dooley, 6 Southeastern Conference championships, 7 conference coaches of the year, and 1 national championship.
2nd down and 8 for Alabama. Same play. Turner just running straight ahead, covering the ball with both arms out to about the 25, and it'll be 3rd down and 5, and now they're inside a half minute to go in what has been a relatively conservative offensive performance by Alabama. But Georgia putting James Jackson into the lineup, liven things up. We've got a timeout. Let's spend a moment watching Alabama.
It's just me now, but I couldn't have gotten this far on my own. I needed support, an extra push, a reason to keep working when wanting to just wasn't enough.
I don't know how this dream began. I don't know where it'll end. But right here, right now, I'm getting the chance to make it happen.
The University of Alabama, a commitment to quality, a commitment to you.
State University under the leadership of Dr. Joab Thomas. Getting bigger all the time. 29 seconds now to go. And it's 3rd down and 5. And I guess Georgia figures, well, maybe we ought to take one more crack with it.
I think they will, Keith. They'll now call timeout after this play and force the punt and try to block it. Try to block the punt if they can stop them and force the punt on this play.
Good with the ball. And Georgia buries him now. Do they call time again?
Yeah.
Yep. They've got 23 seconds. And you know there will be 10 red shirts on the line this time. So the timeout call, let's get an answer from Coach Vince Dooley about his decision not to run for the U.S. Senate.
Well, I was excited about the opportunity and the challenge to run for the United States Senate, but in the final analysis, I could not in good conscience abruptly end what has been a long-time commitment to the university, its supporters, and particularly to my staff and even more so to my football team.
Those comments yesterday from Coach Vince Dooley. Here's something, too, Frank, to consider. Chris Moore is 6'4", and he releases the ball quickly. In other words, he kicks it high from a very high position.
Hard to block, Keith.
Hard to block.
Plus the fact he's a step and a half kicker. If we'll watch him, he steps with his right foot, then his left foot, and kicks it.
Gets it away, and there's nobody deep for Georgia. They had one man up short. It takes an Alabama roll, and so it'll be a big one for Moore as Alabama downs the ball just inside the Georgia 18. A 56-yard punt. There was no one back to return it.
Keith, we've seen a significant variation in the Georgia offensive production since Jackson came in at quarterback. The reason is I think he's got a little more experience. He's a little bit calmer out there. Plus, he's a running threat, where Johnson, the starter, was primarily a passer. Georgia will just fall on the ball here, in my judgment, and go in happy to be only trailing by 7-3. Alabama having 2 or 3 scoring opportunities.
Yeah, but that's the history of Georgia. When they have have given up more than 19 points, they've lost. They don't give up a whole lot of points. Jackson doesn't exactly fall on it. He's got too much ginger in his system for that. He pops over guard and tries to make something out of it, and that'll do it for the first half of play. Alabama 7 and Georgia 3. Right now, let's go to our colleague Tim Brent.
All right, Keith. Ray, you come away with a 4-point lead in the first half. You were dominant offensively, and yet you stayed rather conservative.
Well, we wanted to play the game and run the ball on them and control the ball, try to, and keep it away from their offense. And I think it's a typical Georgia game thus far, you know. But I'm certain that they're going to go into halftime, make some adjustments. We're going to have to make a few adjustments defensively and offensively and come back out the second half. It'll be another dogfight second half.
Can you tell us about some of those adjustments? They changed quarterbacks, and with Jackson, of course, he's much more mobile and gave you some problems.
Well, he did, and they hit a couple of big plays on us in the passing game, too, and that's one of the adjustments that we're going to have to make.
Okay, good luck in the second half. All right, with the score 7-3 Alabama at Sanford Stadium. We'll be back after this commercial and a word from your local stations.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
Up here, power when you need it will save your neck. When you get back down to your car, it helps too. Today's smaller engines need extra firepower from a spark plug, and AC delivers. If you could look inside your engine, you'd see an AC spark plug delivering up to 30,000 volts, firing 30 times a second. Firepower when you need it from AC.
Call 800 AC Delco for a retailer near you.
Never wait for trouble.
Tomorrow, Tony Danza's taking house cleaning to new heights. Pick up some pointers and get a jump on the laughs. Who's the Boss? And following Three's a Crowd at 9, 8 Central, Dave and Maddie wind up on the wrong side of the tracks.
Was it good for you, too?
When they take a ride on the Murder Express.
Don't touch that, man. You don't know where he's been.
Bet you can't guess who done it.
Who? Who?
Who? Take a stab. Oop. It's Moonlighting. Tomorrow.
You'll love it.
Good evening. On the Nightcast after the game, the latest on Elena. Mike Royer tells us what our weather is going to do, and you'll see how annexation is causing some problems for some Birmingham students.
What prestige sedan gives you V8 performance and front-wheel drive? Not Audi, not BMW. What prestige sedan has independent rear suspension, McPherson strut front suspension, and rack and pinion steering? Not Mercedes, not Jaguar. And what prestige sedan now has all-time low 7.7% GMAC financing for October 2nd? Cadillac, Fleetwood, and DeVille.
Now that's performance.
You can have it all from your Southern Cadillac dealers now.
America, there are 100 places to get chicken, but there's only one place to get baked.
Get baked?
Introducing Mrs. Winter's new lean baked chicken.
It's really lean and juicy.
Yeah, and they bake it without the skin in a super marinade.
Finally, nutrition tastes good.
Mrs. Winter's baked chicken.
High in protein, low in fat.
There are 100 places to get chicken, but only one place to get baked. At the Little Yellow House, Mrs. Winter's.
If you're looking for quality auto parts, there's one place that should pop into mind, Auto Shack. Because Auto Shack carries a full line of the best parts in auto parts. Bendix for brakes, TRW for chassis and engine parts, plus other top-of-the-line brands like AC Delco, Motorcraft. You name it, Auto Shack has it, at savings up to 50%. And that could be the best part of all. Auto Shack, for people who don't have time to waste money.
Wheel of Fortune premieres September 9th on BRC6.
The University of Georgia is America's first public institution of higher education to celebrate its bicentennial. In 1985, special events have focused attention on the university's unique heritage and helped it look ahead to a third century of service. Individual states taking responsibility for providing higher education to their citizens is an idea born in Georgia in 1785. The University of Georgia, celebrating 200 years of teaching, inquiring, and serving.
We're at halftime at Sanford Stadium, University of Georgia, with Alabama leading Georgia 7-3. And on the field, a ceremony is taking place, and it's a rare kind of a ceremony in this part of the country. Previously, there have been 3 jerseys retired by the University of Georgia, those being Frankie Sinkwich, Charlie Trippi. Those 2 names, of course, so deep in the history of University of Georgia football, and Theron Sapp, number 40. They're on the field now with President Fred Davison, and they're about to retire the 4th jersey, number 34, worn by Heisman Trophy winner Herschel Walker.
Three-time All-America tailback, the Heisman and Maxwell Trophy winner, hero of the 1980 national champions, number 34, the goal line stalker, Herschel Walker. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of the University of Georgia, Dr. Fred Davidson.
Ladies and gentlemen, as president of the University of Georgia and chairman of the University Athletic Association, it gives me great pleasure to officially retire number 34.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an honor that I don't think words can speak for. You know, they've always stated that everything starts at home, but I think everything started with all of you, because people help to make people. And I think all of you have helped to make me. And I think this honor is going to stand for more than Herschel Walker on the field. I think it's going to stand for Herschel Walker as a person. Most of all, I think it's going to encourage me not just on the field, but in life, to be my very best. Again, I must have thanks for everyone, because without this, there's nothing possible. Let me give a big thanks to the Lord Jesus Christ, because with him, you can accomplish anything. Thank you, Herschel Walker. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a special award from the United States Football League and the Miller Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the USFL Light Beer Most Valuable Player Scholarship Award at Herschel's request. This $8,000 check from the USFL.
And so Herschel Walker, who left a year early. There was bitterness and rancor, but obviously that is gone, as Herschel went on to become a multi-million-dollar man in the United States Football League. Where he goes from here, no one knows at this particular point in time. But I think you could tell by the reception tonight that he is warmly welcome once again at the University of Georgia. Last Thursday night, kickoff classic at the Meadowlands. BYU and Boston College. A special report now from Jim Lampley.
For the third year in a row, college football's regular season began not in September, but in August. And perhaps the biggest news that emerged from Brigham Young's 28-14 victory over Boston College was the first chapter in a possible Heisman Trophy candidacy for Brigham Young quarterback Robbie Bosco, who passed for more than 500 yards. Watching the game here with me was the man who will work as a new member this year of the College Football Today studio team, along with myself and Beano Cook, last year's Heisman Trophy winner, Doug Flutie. And Doug, before we talk about Bosco and his performance, obviously your heart here tonight was with the BC Eagles, your old team, and your backup quarterback, Sean Halloran. Were you disappointed in Sean's performance?
I'd say I wasn't disappointed. I was happy with some things that happened. Sean didn't have the greatest game in the world, but he did show some promise. And my main concern for Sean was to get his feet wet, get out, and have a decent performance. He showed some poise out there, and coming back in the second half, got a good drive together, had a key fourth down completion, and stuck him in the end zone to tie the ball game up. But he wasn't real consistent throughout the ball game, and I think some things hurt him in that he had some itchy feet, and it was the first game jitters for him. So I think week by week we'll see some progress from Sean Halloran.
What about Robbie Bosco?
Fantastic performance by Robbie. He had over 500 yards, definitely going to help him towards the Heisman Trophy for this year. But at the quarterback position, it's tough because all your mistakes are multiplied. They're seen. Every one of them is seen. Running back position, maybe you can get away with making some mistakes and it goes unnoticed. Robbie did make a few mistakes, had some interceptions, and had a tough time of it early going, but in the second half, he got his feet on the ground and really started zinging the ball, putting it on the money, and especially in the short passing game.
Well, the Heisman Trophy race will certainly be one of many subjects that Beano and I will look forward to discussing with you as Doug Flutie joins us throughout the season every Saturday on College Football Today.
And here in Athens, Georgia, we're at halftime with the Crimson Tide of Alabama leading the Bulldogs of Georgia in the season opener 7-3.
For us at American Express, building one worldwide nerve center was a dream come true. Finding the communications and information systems that could grow with us might have been a nightmare. We chose AT&T. You don't trust your dream to just anyone.
Whether it's telephones, information systems, long-distance services, or computers.
The right choice, AT&T.
Here to tell you, nice and neat, why you should eat what the big boys eat. Pure and simple, toasted wheat. A great big crunch that's not too sweet. So hey, banana, cool the sight. This big flake's got nothing to hide. Pure and simple, toasted wheat. Wheaties, Wheaties, what the big boys eat.
Part of your good breakfast. For college football, former Georgia quarterback Fran Tarkenton.
Since I graduated from the University of Georgia in 1961, my life has taken many twists: professional football, a television career, a business career. The scholarship that I received at the University of Georgia back in those years provided me with an education that gave me the foundation and the start to accomplish these things in life after college.
College football. It's doing a lot of good.
The preceding message furnished by the College Football Association.
There's your halftime score. A moment or two now with a look at one of the plays, at least, that was could be considered a highlight. It was not a first half of highlights, frankly, because the Alabama offense remained very, very conservative throughout, though they did produce this touchdown play, and it involved one of the newcomers to the team, Albert Bell, Crenshaw High School via Coffeyville Junior College, and watch this move.
Keith Bell was the most highly recruited junior college player in America, maybe the premier junior college player in America, and it's a good picture of just what he's capable of doing. He has all the tools to be a great wide receiver.
I was a little surprised that Tony Flack bid on it, though, because he got Tony completely turned around. Now, Tony, this is his 4th consecutive year as a starter.
Flack is really a better safety man than he is cornerback. He doesn't have the speed, and he's been playing safety man and cornerback, and that's a good reason why you shouldn't play a defensive back maybe in 2 positions. It's hard to make the adjustment from both of them.
All right, when Jackson came in, James Jackson came in at quarterback for Georgia. Things started to happen for them, that one big play downfield. I would certainly expect they've got to start him in the second half.
I think Georgia is really destined to do more on offense in this ball game maybe than Alabama. Alabama, to me, hadn't shown anything other than 1 key pass or 2 by Shula. They are very, very conservative. Georgia, on the other hand, threw from the own end of the field 3 times in a row, and I think we'll see more of that. They have confidence in Jackson. If they're going to win big this year, Jackson has got to do it. The most critical variable in football is the play of the quarterback. That is what makes coaches live and die. They set up all their practices to train their quarterback. So if Jackson can do it, Georgia's going to be big. If Shula can do it, Alabama's going to win big.
It strikes me, though, that Ray Perkins had in mind in this first half to let those big people of his up front beat on the Georgia defensive unit, and he was successful. I mean, if that is what Ray had in mind, and he wasn't about to tell anybody, then he was successful, because the Georgia defense was on the field virtually the entire first quarter.
And that'll take its toll in the 4th quarter. We'll watch that and see if Georgia can substitute in this 3rd quarter, whether they do get tired. Those 3-yard runs and 4-yard runs become 8, 9, and 10 once the 4th quarter comes around.
All right, so that's where we are at halftime here in Athens, with the Crimson Tide leading the Bulldogs by a score of 7-3.
Here she comes. Little Bonnie is coming home.
Firstborn child, it's a new time for you. There's a stranger in the house today.
You want to say hi to your baby sister?
So what's all the fuss? Why she's so special to us? Are you wondering how long she'll stay?
Beautiful blue eyes.
Do you think that we'd forget you? Are you fearing the worst? Do you think we don't remember?
I have blue eyes first.
It's a good time for the great taste.
You free for lunch?
Of McDonald's. It's a good time for talking it over cheeseburgers, man to man.
Somebody's gonna have to show her the ropes. Someone who's been around the block a few times.
Taking time to understand.
Think Bonnie might like this, Dad?
Sooner or later.
It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's.
For college football, former Alabama center Galen McCullough.
I'm a cosmetic surgeon now, and I'd like to think that one of the things I do is make people's lives better. Something that certainly made my life better was my football scholarship at the University of Alabama. I'll never forget those days under Coach Bryant, and I'll never forget what that scholarship meant to me in allowing me to pursue my career.
College football. It's doing a lot of good.
The preceding message furnished by the College Football Association.
Now in the stadium, on the field performing at halftime, the University of Georgia Redcoat Marching Band. And they, like the football team, came back early because school is not yet in session. Here the band members are, including all of the song girls, the cheerleaders, everybody. So let us join them for a moment and enjoy the Redcoat Marching Band. A salute to the count. The music of Count Basie with the University of Georgia Redcoat Marching Band. The halftime has come to an end. 7-3 Alabama. We'll be right back.
An ABC News Brief brought to you by the fun ships of Carnival Cruise Lines. Now from Washington. College football action continues with the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Georgia Bulldogs. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Chevrolet. See today Chevy, drive today Chevy, live today Chevy. By Energizer Battery, energize for life, long life. By Stroh's and Stroh Light, the circle of sports beer. And by the Wall Street Journal, the daily diary of the American dream.
Tim Brandt back here in Georgia with head coach Vince Dooley. And Vince, the first thing I'm going to ask you, because Jackson made some things happen early, will he start the second half?
Yeah, we think that he will. His ankle seems to be okay, and he did put a little life in the offense, and we need some life, and hopefully he'll get it, and our backs have got to start running a little bit tougher.
So at quarterback, it'll be James Jackson. Defensively now, you have to be concerned. They were on the field a long time. They've got to stop some third down plays.
We got to make third down plays. They've done a good job of trapping us, running some plays on third down, and good second effort. We got to start tackling better, making third down plays.
Good luck the second half. All right, Keith.
And we're ready to go. Tim, thank you. As Crumbly comes out, he kicked a 37-yard field goal in the second quarter for Georgia's own to scoring. He'll kick off now. Chester Braggs is the deep man for Alabama. Both coaches using different people for kick returning, trying to find the right one. This is back to the 2. And Braggs is up to the 18. 16-yard return for him. Here's a look at the Georgia defensive people now. Calvin Ruff is the defensive end, 200-pounder. And Henry Williams weighs in at 235 at tackle. Henry Harris at 260. Kenneth Sims at 265. And Greg Waters at 235. The backers, John Brantley, 6'2", 215. Bill Mitchell, 6'1", and 220. And Alabama's going to come out of here with Gene Jelks opening at tailback. He is out of Gadsden, was on the team with Larry Rose, that big offensive freshman tackle. And Gene Jelks just burns it. He has blazing speed. They want to season him a little bit. And he's wearing number 22, and I don't think anybody has worn number 22 at Alabama since Tony Nathan left. So they must have some confidence in him to give him that number. Here are the halftime stats.
As we can see, Alabama had the best of the stats. I think the most impressive thing was Georgia could not move the ball being conservatively. They came out and opened up and threw on virtually every down, and that changed some things. It's going to be interesting to see if Alabama's going to stay with their conservative play, thinking they can just keep the lead and their defense stop Georgia. I don't believe they can. I think Alabama's going to have to loosen up some, and risk-taking is essential, Keith, in football. You can't stay conservative. You'll get buried if you do.
So Good is not in there. It is Gene Jelks, number 22.
That's a tough place to put a freshman for the first time.
They say this one has great promise. They give it instead to Craig Turner, and Turner trying to loop outside with it. That was a mistake. He ran right into Greg Waters, and Waters put him on the ground. Senior from Swainsboro, Georgia. And there's a loss on the play of a yard. The offensive front for Alabama, the same that started the ball game. That's going to be a loss of about 2 yards, so make it second down and 12. The Georgia secondary, Gary Moss, number 3, is Texan. And Michael Willis is the other corner. Strong safety of the Rover is John Little and Tony Fleck. On second and 12, Shula hands it off again to Craig Turner, the fullback. And this time Jelks gets into the melee and took a couple of pops trying to block. So now we might see him get the football now that he has been warmed up a little bit. Cincinnati beating St. Louis 4-1. Pete Rose 0 for 3. He needs 6 more to break Ty Cobb's record. And ABC will interrupt regular programming when Pete Rose does break Ty Cobb's record. We'll show it to you, regardless of the time of day or night. Let it happen. 3rd down. And now just a little less than 10.
Alabama's run on 3rd down before.
And they do it again. So that's a very conservative series to open the second half. They give on the fullback 3 times, and now they're going to punt it.
If you can get buried trying to be conservative against Georgia. I want to say this. I've been watching Georgia play for many years, and I don't ever remember a team beating them running the football. You have to mix it up. The preordained sequence of run, pass on 3rd down won't cut it.
Now it's up to Moore to kick Bama out of a hole. Otherwise, Georgia could have very good field position for its first offensive possession of the second half.
Georgia has 3 backs back to handle the punt. He did build it.
It's high and hanging, not as long as we've seen him kick. Moss kick.
It's a penalty
flag, though, and I think probably you're going to get a call here against Alabama.
There are 2 possibilities here. One is that the defensive man did not give him a 2-yard radius to catch the ball. That is a rule that was put in last year. That will be a 5-yard penalty. If they roughed the safety man who was signaling for a fair catch or didn't give him a chance to catch the ball, that's a 15-yard penalty. We'll see which it is. That's 15 yards.
Did he signal fair catch?
I don't know whether he did or not, but he has to have the right to catch the ball.
I didn't really see
No, it was 5. 5-yard penalty.
Yeah. 45-yard punt. So they just didn't give him the range. He did not call for a fair catch.
But it doesn't make any difference whether he signals or not. You have to give him 2 yards, and you can see that Alabama man is not giving him 2-yard room to catch the ball. Once the ball starts, it's downward flight.
That's a marginal call, though.
That's the new rule to give the safety man a chance.
It's 1st down from the 38. And Jackson, the quarterback, drops the ball, running down the line, and Georgia covers it at the 35. So Jackson almost commits a serious mistake. The Alabama defense, Brent Sowell, 255. Kurt Jarvis, the nose guard, 265, and a good one. Big John Hand is 6'7" and 275, and yes, sir. Randy Rockwell, 6'3", 189. Cornelius Bennett, 6'4", 215. The inside backers are Wayne Davis, 6'4", 210, and Joe Godwin, 6'2", and 215. And it's 2nd down and about 12 and a half. Jackson back looking for a pass, which run to the sidelines and overthrows Jimmy Hockaday. Bad pass by Jackson. Hard to run to your left and throw to your left. The corners for Alabama, Freddie Robinson, 21, 6'1", 175. And this man is the hitter back there. Vernon Wilkinson, 185 pounds. Rory Turner, the safety. He is 180. Ricky Thomas, 185.
Thomas, the strong safety, has been injured and missed much of practice. Recovered this week and made the starting lineup. Started last year and some as a freshman.
Georgia 3 wideouts now. Jackson back to throw. Gets some pressure, runs away from it. He can do that. But he won't get his 1st down. He comes about to the original line of scrimmage, the 38-yard line. Wayne Davis, the linebacker, finally ran him down. And so Georgia makes some noise, but they don't produce a whole lot offensively insofar as yardage is concerned in their first offensive possession. And now they'll go to the punt.
Georgia on that series ran an option play and called 2 passes. That is a sharp departure from what they did starting the ball game for the first quarter and a half.
Chris Carpenter's in to punt. His last kick in the first half was a 51-yarder, his long one of the night. This will be his 5th punt of the night. And it's a good high one. And this time Richardson says, I want to make a fair catch. I had my body bruised severely in that first half. This is only good for 33 yards, but the hang time was very good.
First down for the Crimson. Owning that new Chevrolet just got closer. Announcing Lowe's 7.7% financing on many of our most popular new 1985 Chevys. Save up to $1,284 in finance charges on Cavalier, $1,886 on exciting Camaro Berlinetta, $1,406 on Chevy Celebrity, $1,599 on Caprice, and $1,064 on Chevette. This is a limited time offer, so hurry. You can save up to $1,886 in finance charges. See your Chevy dealer now.
It'll work on your dandruff. Yeah, but I'm afraid it won't leave my hair the way I like it.
Hey, this is great stuff.
Today's Head & Shoulders.
It's all I use. Okay.
Tough dandruff protection that works only on your scalp, not your hair. Gentle conditioners go there.
Tough on dandruff, right?
But great on hair.
Today's Head & Shoulders. Dandruff care that's good for your hair.
CFA football action keeps on rolling as highly touted Nebraska takes on Florida State. Saturday, live at 3 o'clock Eastern on ABC Sports.
Second offensive possession now for Alabama as Mike Shula comes trotting on the field. And when they come out of the huddle, we'll check the backs. There's Turner, and it's still Jelks in there, number 22. He's yet to carry the ball. Last time, the fullback carried it 3 times. And they punted. Jelks has got it. Bounces outside. He can run, picks up 7. Tony Flack brings him down. He just kind of cruised it in and zip outside.
Keith, I was impressed with his first college carry. He showed the speed. He showed good presence of mind. The blocking wasn't there to cut inside. He faked inside and then outran the Georgia secondary and the support to the corner and made 7 or 8 yards. That's the first good gain Alabama's made circling the Georgia defense.
Second down and 3. Ball just over the 35. Jelks slants it over the left side and gets a yard short of the first down. And a little ruckus breaks out on the field, but nothing to it. Greg Waters brought him down. Brantley involved. Brantley stepping in, filling some big shoes. This inside backers, they were so good a year ago. They had Knox, Culpepper for one. I mean, they've had some outstanding linebackers, and I think Brantley's going to be another one.
Keith, that's an outstanding play on Brantley's part. That wasn't a blitz by the linebacker. He read the isolation play, and as soon as he did, he shot the gap, took on the fullback, and stopped the play. That's just outstanding defensive play.
Third down and 2. And Alabama has been charged with a timeout. They didn't call it as much as they were charged with the timeout for some reason. Apparently broken equipment.
Last year, history's biggest run took place. The 5-mile Stroh's Run for Liberty. This year's run will be even bigger. It's in 127 cities, and it's sponsored by Stroh's, with support from the Plymouth Division of Chrysler. Your entry fee will help restore the statue. And even if you walk, you'll get a medal cast from materials used to build her a century ago. Enter at participating Chrysler Plymouth dealers or wherever you buy Stroh's. Then join us for her sake.
Here's hard-working news from Chevy Trucks. Now there's low 7.7 financing on select new 1985 Chevy trucks. 7.7 on new full-size 2- and 4-wheel drive pickups. New full-size Chevy cargo vans. And new Astro cargo vans. Low 7.7 financing on 85 Chevys. Nothing works harder for your buck. Nothing works like a Chevy truck.
Under the rule this year, a bit of change. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. First, this comment from Ray Perkins on Al Bell.
He catches the ball as well as anybody I've ever seen, with the exception of John Jefferson when I was at San Diego in '78. But everything he touches, he catches it, and he's tough. He'll block. He can run with the ball, and he's got great movement for his lateral movement. He's got lateral movement like a running back.
That's high praise indeed from Ray Perkins, who wasn't too bad himself. This is a pitch outside to Turner on 3rd down and 2, and he doesn't make it. Bill Mitchell, the weak side backer, came across and got him. And it'll be 4th down for Alabama and bring the punting team on the field. Let me explain that new rule to you. Johnson, the tackle for Alabama, had a broken helmet or something, and he didn't get off the field, and so they were charged a timeout, because otherwise he's got to go off and get a substitute in, and he didn't do it, and so Alabama has 2 timeouts remaining, and now the punters are on.
Keith, give Willis, the cornerback, part of the praise for that last play with Mitchell. He forced very quickly, forced the play into the pursuing linebacker for the short gain and stopped him on 3rd down.
More to punt, no pressure on him.
Good.
Shoots a howitzer. Good grief. It's in the end zone. The yardage, 62 yards. Ooh. Boy, we got 2 kids in this game tonight that can really pop it. Nebraska hosts Florida State next Saturday at 3 Eastern Time. The Seminoles beating Tulane 38-12 in the opener. Tom Osborne will show off his Cornhuskers for the first time next Saturday. It'll be in Lincoln. It'll be another sellout. It'll be exciting. And then September 14, we will have BYU Washington or UCLA Tennessee. So check your local listing. That's a couple of dandies right there. It's first down Georgia. The ball at their 20. Jackson is the quarterback. Gives the ball to Lars Tate. And Lars Tate runs it up to about the 26, and a penalty flag comes out of the linesman's pocket. And you might have a face mask.
I believe it's a clipping, Keith.
Or a clip.
The flanker coming inside seemed to make the clip. Oh, that's tough on Georgia. Have a little room. Then they get the 15-yard penalty. Takes them right back into long yardage and forces the pressure right on the quarterback, Jackson. Troon Jackson, number 24. No, I'm sorry, Osborne, the wide receiver's coming in.
Red team, half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's a rough penalty.
Yes, it is. Something Georgia didn't need at this time. Backed up again as they were most of the first quarter.
9 minutes to go in the third quarter, 7-3. Alabama leads. James Jackson rolls it left. Running for his life. Wants to throw it, can't.
Oh, what speed Cornelius Bennett has. How do you play outside linebacker? First, his responsibility is to be sure that they don't circle him. When the pass shows, he gets a little penetration, but he then keeps his legs free. First man, then he keeps his leg free for the second time. Now watch his speed. Jackson has great speed. Watch Bennett run him down right there. What a great defensive play.
And it goes down as a sack as the ball comes back to the 10-yard line. Second down and 20. And this is Tate running the ball over right tackle. Big hole, and never really did have his full balance, but even so brings the ball out to the 26.
Horace Tate is a real story for Georgia. Home, Indianapolis, Indiana. Great record. Played some last year. Very tentative. Didn't know really what to expect. Here is an outstanding play of Tate cutting back on a sweep play, seeing a little daylight, running for first 4 yards, then breaking the linebacker clean and making extra yardage.
And on third down and 3, Tron Jackson replaces him. Tate has 30 yards on 7 carries, and James Jackson will throw it. Swing it out to Tron, and there's folks out there waiting for it. Guess who? Number 97, Bennett.
Bennett is all over the field. It's uncanny how the great players are at the right place. Bennett seems to be in the huddle of the Georgia team. Whichever side Georgia runs or passes, Bennett is on that side. And there's no book on Georgia because this is the first game of the season. What a great play.
They will punt now on 4th and 7 as Carpenter comes in.
Once again, Georgia stopped by a penalty of an offensive mistake. First game of the season.
Trailing 7-3. Low kick, but long. And Richardson has to retreat to his 26 to take it. Now gets a crack. And McCluskey runs him down and keeps him from going for 6. A great return by Greg Richardson, but even better, the blocking. The wedge opened a big seam for him, and he took off.
If you called it right when you said a low kick, when you kick the ball 55 yards off the line of scrimmage, then you see some great blocking. Number 56, Greg Gilbert, just a freshman linebacker from Decatur, Georgia, by the way, makes an outstanding block to spring Richardson free for the long run.
And it's first down Alabama at the Georgia 36 with 7:17 to go in the third quarter. The Tide leading 7-3. Shula pitches to Chester Braggs. Braggs trying to sweep. Gets to the 35, and that'll do it.
Roll call for the Georgia defense. 7, 8 red shirts out on the sweep. Just a dead play as a rule against the Georgia defense, and here's why. The role of a linebacker, what makes a good one? Diagnose the play. Be active and live and find a way to chase the play where you do not get cut off. Look at Brantley, 42. Fight his way through the line and come over with Mitchell, the other linebacker, and making the play.
And it's second down and about 9. Shula gives to Braggs. Down at the 34. So the hairy dog is growing hair, isn't he?
Georgia defense plays so many fronts. It's hard to block everybody. Henry Williams is from 2 miles from this stadium. Homegrown boy finally getting in the starting lineup and made an outstanding play on the fake pass and run.
Alabama better get some points, though.
They had an opportunity. Started with this one on the 35-yard line, first down in Georgia territory. Now they end up 3rd and 9. There's Henry Williams, number 90.
They got Jelks in there at tailback, and Bell has seen the ball twice. Once it was intercepted, and the second time he caught it. This goes to Jelks.
I don't understand that call. Unless they're going to try for a field goal, which would make it 40 to 52-yard field goal.
Tippin. He's coming.
He kicked the 52-yard field goal last year in the Alabama-Auburn game, Keith, which was the difference in the ball game. He's 15 out of 20 last season.
So he puts his tee down on the 38. This is a 48-yarder.
He's kicked the 52-yarder before, and that was in the Alabama
53
game.
against Penn State was his
53,
record.
that's right.
He kicked 2 in that game to win it 6-0. The holder is Larry Abney. Plenty of leg. Good. That might have been dead center. There's no wind tonight, virtually none. I mean, the flag is hanging damp and limp, and he didn't have to worry about any Kentucky windage on it. He just belted it and drilled it right down the pipe.
What's America's newest bundle of energy? The new Energizer AA battery. It's supercharged.
Supercharged, like you, Mary Lou. This new Energizer AA is the longest-lasting Energizer ever. Supercharged to give you power no other battery in the world can beat. Tell him, Mary Lou.
Remember, you only get out of it what you put into it. So energize it.
Nothing beats the mighty new Energizer.
Now supercharged.
Some things look hard, but once you know the secret, they're easy.
It's easy.
Some people think financing a new car is hard, but it isn't. It's easy.
It's as easy as GMAC.
With GMAC, buying or leasing a new GM car or truck is easy. Ask your GM dealer and see how easy it is. Financing a new car may seem hard, but once you know the secret,
It's as easy as GMAC.
It's easy.
Next Monday night in one of football's fiercest rivalries, the Washington Redskins tackle the Dallas Cowboys. Live at 9 Eastern on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football.
Alabama getting ready to kick off from the 40. Van Tiffin from Red Bay, Alabama, will kick it, and Georgia will have deep Tron Jackson, number 25, and Gary Moss, number 3. Not too deep, but it's high. Moss.
Let's watch Tiffin reaction after he kicks this ball. When you're good, flown it. When you're good, flown it. He knew he was going to hit it all along. Just very, 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 very calm and collected. He knew he was going to kick it. Every day in practice and in the ball game, too. Penn State and Georgia. 53-yarder.
All right. From the 24, Georgia goes to work. Fred Lane in motion. Jackson hands it off inside. Try to pop it quickly with McCluskey, but Kurt Jarvis wouldn't buy it. And Jarvis won the wrestling match.
Keith, let me give you my perspective of what's happening tactically in the ball game. Alabama must feel that they can control the Georgia offense, which has a very inexperienced offensive line, a young quarterback. They don't have to take any chances offensively. They can win with their defense. That's the reason they're staying so conservative, I would guess.
Jackson still got it on a bootleg. Brought down by Vernon Wilkinson, the right cornerback, who is a seasoned, tough player at right corner for Alabama. But James Jackson got his first down.
This is one of those bootlegs that translated means naked, Keith. Those of you that tuned in late last year.
No. That's today.
Oh,
Becker.
I'm sorry.
Boris Becker got beat.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Nystrom beat him. Big upset in the U.S. Open. This is Jackson rolling, whips one to the sidelines, and it bounces in front of the intended receiver, The receiver being Cassius Osborne. Coming up at the end of the game, we are going to pick a Chevrolet play of the game. And I think it's far and away too early. If you picked it now, it would be relatively simple. But it will mean $1,000 to the Winning Schools General Scholarship Fund.
That's a new wrinkle, Keith. Picking the play instead of the player.
Well, it gets you away from having to pick an outstanding player, and sometimes that's harder than it would seem, too. And now Jackson doesn't like what he's got to work with on 2nd down and 10 and calls a timeout. And time remaining third quarter, 4 minutes and 23 seconds as Georgia wants to plot some offense.
Guy spends $50 or $60 tuning up his car himself. Then he comes in here and says,
it still doesn't run right.
I say, did you change the spark plug wires? If the insulation is shot, nothing will make your car run properly. That's why I put in new Autolite power seals. The insulation is thicker than ordinary wires to seal in the power. They're so tough, these Autolite power seals are guaranteed for as long as you own your car. So why not put in Autolite power seals? They're thicker. They seal in the power.
This bartender's the next big league pitcher and loves to serve fire-brewed Strohs. See what I mean? That was his fastball. That was the curve. Look out. Wild pitch.
What was that?
Relief pitcher.
Strohs and Stroh-Lite for great taste and good times.
It's a warm night in Athens. We're sitting just in a little overhang below the press box here at Sanford Stadium, along with 82,000, and the ball is handed off to Lars Tate, and Alabama just eats him up on a 2nd down and 10. I'm not sure that represented the kind of imagination one would think would come out of a timeout.
Big John Hand, number 78, stands 6'7", 275 pounds. They block him the way I think you should, down at his feet, but he gets up because it was a delayed play, cutting back to the weak side, and he jumps up and makes the play. Uh-oh, there's Cornelius Bennett had his leg stung on that play. Leaving the game, Keith.
Walking like it's...
Let's see if we can detect what happened. He had an ankle injury in the preseason practice and missed a lot of the two-a-day work. Let's see if we can detect what happened. Number 97, Cornelius Bennett. He braces himself. He sees the play coming back. Helps on the tackle. And then his teammate, Wayne Davis, falls on back of him. I guess is the only thing it could possibly be. Number 58, Wayne Davis.
3rd down and 10 now. James Jackson looking to throw it. Penalty flag down. Jackson running is knocked out of bounds across the field. And we'll see about the flag. Ricky Thomas, the strong safety, was the man that came all the way across the field with Jackson and ran him out. And looks like a call against Georgia.
That'll be a holding, and Alabama is likely to refuse the penalty since he'll bring up 4th down and 10.
A moment with Tim Brent.
All right, Keith, they've got Cornelius Bennett on the Alabama bench here behind me. They're working on him. Now, when he came out after that last offensive series or the defensive series on his behalf, he had cramps. They worked on those. He's got cramps again, and now they're cutting the tape off his ankle. They think that that might be causing the pressure that's cramping up his calf, but that's what it is. It's cramps on Cornelius Bennett.
Keith, you take your fingers and pinch your upper lip, and the cramps leave.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I pinch your upper lip, and the cramps will leave you. That's all you have to do.
You go down there and tell Cornelius that, and the trainer would beat you to death with a stool.
Sure, I'm telling you.
Roll of tape.
Have a cramp in the bed, I pinch my upper lip, and it leaves. We did that on our team in Arkansas.
Oh, how?
I'm not kidding.
I'll try it. Next time I have to run the stairs.
Give me the result.
Carpenter's in to punt. Gets it out pretty well. Richardson back, catches it, and runs back about 3 yards with the return. That was a 39-yard punt by Carpenter and a 5-yard return. And here again is Tim Brent.
Hey, Keith, I'm with Walter Lewis, who played in this Alabama offensive scheme. Are you concerned at all, or are you a little bit surprised at the conservative play calling?
I'm not surprised. Coach Perkins has a lot of young players out there, and having young players, you want to give them a chance to do what they can do and not put them under a tremendous amount of pressure.
Very quickly, in your first game with Ray Perkins, was he conservative in the play calling, and did he open up later?
Yes, as the season went on with me, under Coach Perkins, we opened up our offense a whole lot. You know, the first game, you're kind of jittery and what you can do, and then you limit yourself a little bit.
All right, Walter. Keith.
Mike Bobo carries. And he picks up a couple of yards on the play from the 30 out to about the 32.
The Alabama coaching staff just believe they've got complete control of the Georgia offense. I think we should point out that Georgia's offense has a very young, inexperienced offensive line, a quarterback that's played very little, a tight end that played defense, running backs that are very young, inexperienced, so maybe they've played it just the perfect way to win a tight ball game and walk away with a victory.
Shula keeps it. Dives short of the first down by a yard. That was the 40th Alabama rushing play of the night. Cardinals lose to Cincinnati. Browning beating Andujar. Andujar was the first, second, I guess, to go to 20, wasn't he? And the Mets will pick up the game if they can stay with that big cushion over San Diego in the third inning. Third and a short yard.
Georgia has won these short yard situations before.
Not this time. Good dives over the top and picks up enough for the first down. Georgia's next game will be Clemson, and Alabama's next game in 2 weeks will be Texas A&M, Birmingham.
I'm sure Jackie Sherrill, who played at Alabama, is looking forward to that game.
Well,
a chance to come back home, and
he feels, and there's some heat on Jackie. Without being fancy about it, Jack's got some pressure on him to produce something akin to a winner down there at A&M this year.
Well, you make that kind of salary, which I wish we had. I had, but
Shula, left hands one downfield. Pass is caught. Pulled in by Mike Bobo, but it's a possession-type pass, and there's a penalty flag thrown. Could be roughing the passer.
I believe that's what it was, Keith. It seemed to me it was a very close call. Certainly don't want the pass of the quarterback to get hit in the face. And the penalty will be from the line of scrimmage, the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 15 yards against the Georgia Bulldogs. This is the second penalty they've had for roughing the passer. Oh, I don't guess it was roughing. It must have defensive holding.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, automatic first down.
Well, I wonder why he penalized 10 yards. Let's see if we can tell. Little, let's see if we can tell. No, Little didn't rush. He's backing off. It was a little pass to the fullback out in the flat. Bobo. Little makes a great play.
It's first down, Alabama at the 49 of Georgia. Option, Shula pitches almost too late to Jelks. He fumbled the ball out of bounds. Alabama will keep possession. That time it was Michael Willis, cornerback, getting him.
Out of bounds at the 45.
Let's go back to the last play. Let's see. 59, Waters. That's the call, roughing the passer. Waters, number 59. Flag dropped right there.
A little picky.
It's a game of contact.
Second down and about 5. Ball at the Georgia 44. Jelks again. Oh, boy. There's a nail job by Big Henry Williams.
Henry Williams is playing the position that Jimmy Payne played for Georgia, and Freddie Gilbert, two outstanding players. He's trying to fill some big shoes, but it's a position that you can make some big plays. If you have the quickness, the ability to close to the ball. Henry is 6'4", 6'3", weighs about 260 pounds.
He's a sophomore.
Alabama has 46 attempts, 42 runs, and 4 passes. Is that conservative? Third and long. They've run every third and long down, and now they're going to throw.
Fumbles the football.
Bounces back up. Keith out.
They came right back to him, didn't they?
Yes. Teammate fell.
David Johnson it was. David Johnson covered it, number 60. So they're lucky to get it back. And they'll punt. Andy Loy, who's playing with a very sore leg, coming off knee surgery, but he's a spiritual leader on this team and a quick, tough-nosed football player, and he's right in there. You see the ball come bouncing around, and then Double David Johnson jumps over.
Will kick for Alabama.
As a rule, when you fumble, the quarterback fumbles, the defense is surrounding you, and they have the best chance of getting the ball. Lucky for Alabama.
Pressure on Moore, gets it out, and he didn't kill that one. He got some heat, but he gets a good bounce out of it, and now Moss is going to let it roll.
Keith, that's one of my friends figured up that every time the ball hits, you let a punt hit, it'll average rolling 16 yards. This one will roll more than 16 yards. Probably 5, 10, 15, closer to 20.
And a very average punt turns out to be a 47-yarder because of it. ABC's premiere of ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. At this hour next week, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, the Dallas Cowboys of the Washington Redskins.
Boy, Joe Gibbs at Washington has done a great job, and Tom Landry, two of the best coaches in America. It should be a whale of a ball game.
This is number 38, Tim Worley. He was in for a couple of plays in the first half. He's in the backfield right now with another freshman, Keith Henderson. So you got to have a pretty tight stomach when you put two untested freshmen in the backfield. First down at your own 6-yard line. Third quarter is over. We'll continue after this message and a word from our local station.
Technology is taking over the world. You can keep up with it, or you're going to be left behind. That's why I joined the Army.
From microchip circuitry to laser technology, the world's largest school for high-tech skills is the Army.
Bravo, go active. Bravo, lock, 05.
Be all that you can be.
I don't intend to get left behind.
Find your future in the Army.
The Emmy Award-winning miniseries, Inside the Third Reich, starts Wednesday.
Good evening. Elena remains our top story tonight. We'll have the latest on the storm. Plus, you'll see why youngsters in one Birmingham neighborhood are not in school, even though school's in session. Join us after.
It takes time before something becomes a classic. You can't create one. Somehow it just grows. It says something about who we are, the way we were, the kind of people we want to be. It becomes so much a part of us, it's easy to take it for granted. But perhaps the real test is, things don't seem the same without it. Coca-Cola Classic. The original formula is back.
My family's health is important to me. That's why we're members of Sunmark Health Plan. With Sunmark, we can choose the doctors we're most comfortable with from the Simon Williamson Clinic. Simon Williamson has been caring for Birmingham families for over 50 years. They know my family, and I like knowing our doctors. I feel more at ease because they take the time to listen and explain everything to me. I think understanding family health care is important, don't you?
Sunmark Health Plan. Affordable health care from caring doctors.
Small Wonder, Friday night at 7:30.
So we've played 3 periods. 15 minutes to go. 1 touchdown lead for Alabama in a very conservatively played game by the Crimson Tide. Declaration literally to the defense.
Yeah, I was going to say, the Alabama defense has been outstanding. They have complete control of the game.
Inside, it's Henderson carrying out close to the 15. He's going to be a yard or so short of the first down, so it'll be 3rd and short for Georgia. Cornelius Bennett, out with cramps, is still there on the sideline.
The Georgia offensive line has 1 senior, Anderson, at center, 2 sophomores, and 2 juniors. The sophomores had very little experience, and neither had the juniors.
Well, Anderson was scheduled to play guard. Yes. Keith Johnson went down with back problems. He's got a ruptured disc, going to have some surgery to fix it. They need him. He's a big 300-pounder. And here's James Jackson, quarterback keeper, slants it over the left side, picks up the first down as Todd Roper brings him down. Here are your third quarter stats.
Well, there's still not much offense, very limited, and regardless of how the coaches, Alabama still leads, Keith, regardless of how the coaches want to open up, they are controlled by the ability of their quarterback. If their quarterback can't do it, you cannot open up. That tells what happens.
Bennett has now returned to the ball game, so I guess he's all right. It's first down Bulldogs, out near the 18. James Jackson drops to throw. Gets it off deep, way downfield, and too long, intended for Osborne.
5'10". He threw it about nearly 60 yards, Keith. He has that rifle arm. Third and long, second and long. He just turned and threw it. Nobody was open. Threw it over everybody's head. Jackson, the quarterback.
Osborne running with Rory Turner. Really hadn't gained much on him. They were pretty much shoulder to shoulder.
Well, Keith,
Jackson let it go.
Last year, Alabama was last in the Southeastern Conference in total offense, and Georgia was ninth. And it all stems from what you do with your quarterback. How much ability do you have there? Whether he can play a major role and take the load, make big things happen.
That pass is thrown into the air conditioner on the sidelines, incomplete.
One thing that Alabama's defense has done is taken this Georgia crowd right out of the ballgame.
Yep.
And that was important for Ray Perkins. You give credit to that Alabama defense. Bennett, Hand, Jarvis, Sowell, Rockwell, Wayne Davis,
I understand, but all it takes is one freak play that could turn into a big play, and you're tied.
Well, that's what happened in the Cotton Bowl game. Texas had a chance to be national champion. 3 field goals, 9-3 was the score. And then the fumble punt. Georgia took it in, won 10-9. That's what they play for. That's been the Vince Dooley formula for a long time.
They're well short of the first down on Tim Worley's carry, and in comes Carpenter to punt again, and the Alabama receiving team comes back out with Richardson dropping for them. Carpenter's punting tonight. He's been busy. He's had 2, 4, 7 kicks.
In the nation last year, the two teams have averaged close to 400 yards passing, over 370 yards per game between the two teams. I'd say tonight we're way behind that average. Gosh, what a kick. Look at that, Keith.
They really hang on, don't they? Richardson tries it. Bad decision. So they bury Greg Richardson well back around the 32-yard line with 13:01 to play.
Owning that new Chevrolet just got closer. Announcing Lowe's 7.7% financing on many of our most popular new 1985 Chevys. Save up to $1,284 in finance charges on Cavalier, $1,886 on exciting Camaro Berlinetta, $1,406 on Chevy Celebrity, $1,599 on Caprice, and $1,064 on Chevette. This is a limited time offer, so hurry. You can save up to $1,886 in finance charges. See your Chevy dealer now.
Faces. They're all different, yet these all have something in common. They're the faces of Manville people. Manville people at work, 21,000 of them with one goal, to be America's very best supplier of quality products. Manville people aren't just dedicated to making better products. They're always striving to make those products even better. Yes, 21,000 people with one goal, to make Manville America's very best supplier.
Hey, I'm glad Joe's joined us on Monday nights.
I think we make a great team.
Hey, one for all and all for one, right?
Right. Wrong.
You know who's having a big night in there at defensive tackle position for Georgia? Very quietly, really, but he's making those inside plays. Kenneth Sims now has credit for 14 tackles.
He's a senior, Keith, and been steady for the last 3 years.
First down, Alabama from the 33. And up the middle goes Craig Turner, who's had a big night for the Tide, and he runs for a first down to about the 48. I think this time they must have moved Sims out, didn't they?
Well, they trapped him, meaning the center block's one direction. Number 7, let's see, Sims is 57. The center, 54. Neighbors is blocking him. Boy, he made a nice block, and that opens up the hole to the other side for the trap play for a nice gain. Good block by Neighbors on Sims.
Turner now 13 carries and 53 yards, and penalty flags as Kerry Gould carries on the first down from the 48.
Alabama jumped the gun, Keith. They were too eager to get after that Georgia defense. I just don't see Alabama taking any chances as long as that defense can play like they've played so far, and the kicking game can hold up with Moore doing an outstanding job, the freshman redshirt.
Dead ball foul, illegal procedure, 5 yards.
Bill, first down.
And 15.
Alabama has thrown, you joined us late, Alabama has thrown 4 passes in this ball game. 1 for a touchdown. Caught Georgia in the blitz, playing man for man. Wide receiver open for a touchdown. Only scored a game.
This is Good surging back in there to about the original line of scrimmage, the 48. Well, since Bell, Shula threw one to him high under pressure, and he was intercepted. Then he hooked up with him for the touchdown. Since then, Albert Bell has disappeared from the ballgame. He's on the field.
Well, Keith, he's a threat when he's out. He's not playing. No, yes, he is. He's out there.
Oh,
he's a threat.
Well, they haven't thrown the ball in this whole half, second half.
Well, they've only thrown 4 for the ball game. That's surprising.
Greg Richard's got to be saying, hey, what about me? Jelks is in there at tailback now. And Shula rolls it out and pumps it down the middle to the big tight end, Thornton Chandler. And the 6'6"er from Jacksonville, Florida, pulls it in for a completion at the 34 of Georgia.
Misdirection pass, meaning the backs go one direction, the quarterback comes the other. Has a tendency to distort the rush, and it distorts the pass coverage. Some of the people go with the backs, some of the other players go with the quarterback, and the tight end, Chandler, is right over the middle, 6'6", jumps up and catches the ball.
And it's first down tied at the Dog 34. Shula's now 4 out of 5 for 62 yards and a touchdown, and this is number 44, Craig Turner, running the ball to the 30 for 4 yards. We're using tonight the Skycam and as part of our coverage of the ball game. That's the latest state-of-the-art, as a matter of fact, in television. It's suspended from 4 wires up there, got a little motor up at the top, and it goes zinging around and gets all kinds of different angles for you, and we're happy to have the use of it tonight. That's the picture from the Skycam right there.
It's freaky looking, Keith. Looks like a robot, yeah.
Well, it is a robot in a sense. Fine tackle by Greg Waters and Bill Mitchell as they pinch the running back Turner and just slam him right down at the line of scrimmage.
Well, once again, Alabama's in field goal range. If they can get a field goal, Georgia would have to score twice to win the ball game. They're within the range of Van Tippin. Ray Perkins, by the way, Keith, is calling every play. He's coaching the quarterbacks this year for the first time, and he's calling every play.
Braggs is in and Jelks goes out. Turner stays in. Shula back, look out for Bell. Bell down the middle. Had the ball, but a wicked hit by John Little. And welcome to Division 1A, Mr. Bell.
I was going to say that, Chief. John Little played it perfectly. Anytime you play a defensive linebacker like Bell is playing, it's a pass. He has to drop back. His role is to drop back and cover those intermediate zones and come up on the ball thrown in front of him. He anticipates Bell catching the ball. Watch him come up and hit him, and the ball goes up incomplete. Fine play.
47-yard field goal try coming up now by Mr. Van Tippin. Hit a 48-yarder earlier. This one may not get there. Wide to the right. Well, he hits from 48 and misses from 47 with 9:52 to go in the ball game. It's still up for grabs. 10-3 Bama.
Last year, history's biggest run took place. The 5-mile Stroh's Run for Liberty. This year's run will be even bigger. It's in 127 cities, and it's sponsored by Stroh's, with support from the Plymouth Division of Chrysler. Your entry fee will help restore the statue. And even if you walk, you'll get a medal cast from materials used to build her a century ago. Enter at participating Chrysler Plymouth dealers or wherever you buy Stroh's. Then join us for her sake.
Here's hard-working news from Chevy Trucks. Now there's low 7.7 financing on select new 1985 Chevy trucks. 7.7 on new full-size 2- and 4-wheel drive pickups. New full-size Chevy cargo vans. And new Astro cargo vans. Low 7.7 financing on 85 Chevys. Nothing works harder for your buck. Nothing works like a Chevy truck.
The ball is just short of the 30 now. And as I said, the game is still up for grabs.
How many times have we seen Georgia pull a game out in the last few minutes because their defense kept them in the ball game so that offense could get going?
Worley drops it. Alabama's got it. Drops it right into the hands of Cornelius Bennett.
How does Bennett get on the side, Keith? They run every time. He absolutely seems to be right where Georgia's going to run the ball. What a great play he makes here. Has the play botched up. The
like picking up Easter eggs.
Yeah, but what happened, Worley was looking at him and took his eyes off the ball. Bennett's playing the option play. His responsibility is not to let him get outside. He starts going to the boundary, going to cut the ball carrier off at the corner. The ball pops right out in front of him.
Now you got a tired Georgia defense trying to defend the goal line from about the 28-yard line. Alabama has it. Shula gives to Turner. A yard maybe.
I haven't seen the Georgia defense blitz, an all-out blitz, since the touchdown pass. And what Alabama did, Keith, they kept their tight end and two backs in to give them maximum protection. Two wide receivers were out on that touchdown pass. Only two, and they hit the touchdown. That's the way they attacked the blitz package.
Well, they're not loading up this time either. Turner picks up the ball and just puts his head down and keeps on trucking. And he's going to have about 5 on that carry.
Shula was shocked when the ball came right through his hands and bounced, and Turner happened to be going in the right direction. This is uncanny. The ball bounces right there, and Turner, what an athlete. He didn't slow down at all. He picked it up and made a nice gain. Could have been a break for Georgia.
Georgia hasn't had many breaks so far tonight in the ball game.
Well, they haven't earned them either, Keith.
That's right. Moon coming up. 8:51 to play in the game.
When a road is slippery, braking your car can cause skidding or worse. Now, Tevis, an ITT company, has an anti-lock brake system to help keep your car under control. A built-in computer senses the road and brakes the wheels without locking. This ITT Tevis system is available on some American cars now, and none too soon.
I hate errors, even when I paint something. That's why I like Krylon spray paint. Look, spray this one with Krylon, this one with this other brand. Krylon goes on smooth, professional. No runs, no drips, no errors.
Hey, that's baseball talk.
That's Krylon talk. 12 minutes later, Krylon's dry to the tackle. An hour later, the other one's still wet. See? Krylon for a smooth, fast, professional finish.
CFA football action keeps on rolling as highly touted Nebraska takes on Florida State. Saturday, live at 3 o'clock Eastern on ABC Sports.
It'll be 3rd and 6 for Alabama. Just inside the Georgia 24. Shula back. Looks for Bell, throws to the corner for Bell. He catches it. He's out of bounds. No TD. Moss was with him, and Bell veered to the outside, and when he made the catch, he was off the playing field.
Bell ran right by Moss, the defensive cornerback. A little inside fake, just a delay. In fact, Moss stays in his back pedal too long. He let Bell get too close to him. Should have turned and run with him. He doesn't have the speed. Should have given him a little more cushion. Georgia is lucky the pass was out of bounds. Right on the line.
Right on the chalk, it looks like. And so the Dogs dodge a bullet, and here comes Van Tiffin back into the ball game, and this is a 41-yarder. He missed a while ago from 47. He's got this one on the way, and it's good. So he's kicked 48 and 41 and missed from 47, and it's now 13-3 Crimson Tide.
Owning that new Chevrolet just got closer. Announcing Lowe's 7.7% financing on many of our most popular new 1985 Chevys. Save up to $1,284 in finance charges on Cavalier, $1,886 on exciting Camaro Berlinetta, $1,406 on Chevy Celebrity, $1,599 on Caprice, and $1,064 on Chevette. This is a limited time offer, so hurry. You can save up to $1,886 in finance charges. See your Chevy dealer now.
I can trade in this old TV on a new Curtis Mathis?
Curtis Mathis National Trade-In Days are on.
I can trade in this TV on a new Curtis Mathis?
Bring in your old TV to your Curtis Mathis Home Entertainment Center now and get up to $300 off on a stereo, TV, big screen, VCR, or camera. All with our exclusive 4-year warranty and easy monthly payments.
Trade in this TV?
It's almost as old as he is.
Don't drink and drive. A public service message from ABC.
Van Tiffin will now kick off. Alabama holding a 10-point lead. And time remaining is 8:38. With Moss and Jackson, Tron Jackson deep for Georgia. It goes to Moss at the 6. Well, he had a little daylight, but he is knocked off balance and goes down around the 24. Here's Tim Brent.
Keith, we just talked to Cornelius Bennett before he went back on the field and tried to find out what he is keying on, how he is lining up and why. When Georgia comes out in a split backfield or a regular set, then he goes to the tight end side. When they come out with 2 receivers to the same side or twins to that side, he'll go to that side, which is pretty much what outside linebackers do on the strong side anyway. But the defensive coordinator has been gambling. He's been taking chances, and if he has a feeling that he wants to move to the weak side, he'll move Cornelius over there. But pretty much it's been basic to the strong side.
And Wayne Johnson returns to the quarterback position for Georgia. Tron Jackson carries, trying to go around the corner. And number 34, Ricky Thomas, comes up and denies him.
Keith, let's put the game in perspective from a coach's standpoint. Alabama felt that they could win. A win is a win first. Perkins needed this win desperately, and he felt as the game progressed, I'm sure, that his defense had control. Let us keep Georgia backed up. If they make a mistake, we'll get a touchdown, and Georgia has not shown anything where they could score on Alabama. I think, you know, that they had the plan pretty well worked out.
Now Georgia's in the position of where they've got to throw the ball deeper than they threw it right there, but Johnson delivered a bullet, and the ball was caught by the tight end Wycliffe Lovelace, and Rocky Rockwell and Joe Godwin are both there. Now watch, this ball is pretty much into coverage.
It's a curl pass with a split end going deep, and you're right, Keith. 57 Rockwell was right there, as was Godwin, the linebacker.
3rd down and 2. Georgia's 1 out of 11 on 3rd down conversions. Johnson rolling out is close to it, but won't get it as Bennett denied him, as Cornelius Bennett once again, right place, right time.
Bennett again, responsibility, defensive end. Watch him delay the tight end, Lovelace, from going out. No wonder everybody says that Bennett is another Lawrence Taylor. He's bigger than I think Lawrence Taylor was at this time of his career. Bennett weighs 230, 6'4", and runs a 4.4 40-yard dash. That is a dominant, gifted athlete.
They bring the change out to see precisely how far they are from the first down.
Georgia's going to have to go for it.
Well, they got Carpenter on the field.
Well, they'll take him out. My judgment.
It's a half a yard.
They got no choice. They've got to go for it.
6:57.
Risk-taking is essential at certain parts of the game. If you don't, you wait too long, it's too late. Doesn't do you any good.
Well, they're going.
It's a smart thing to do. They get beat 20-3. What's the difference in 13-3? They need to win this ball game. Georgia lost 4 games last year, and they've only lost 6, Keith, in this decade.
All right, they've got Lars Tate in there at running back. Wayne Johnson is the quarterback. And Keith Henderson is in there along with McCluskey. You figure McCluskey probably, huh?
Yep.
Nope, it's Tate. And he's got the first down, I think. Looks like they'll mark him very close to the 35.
Good call, Keith. He's the first down by 3 inches.
Well, you saw now Tate took the ball took a step and a half left and then cut back instead of giving it to McCluskey where he could just pop in there. But McCluskey was in a posture where he was looking straight at Kurt Jarvis and John Hand. So
the reason
maybe it was a good call.
The reason for that, to get an extra blocker. McCluskey becomes the additional blocker to pick up any leakage from the blocks of the line.
Now Johnson's back. Fired. Good.
Good throw, Chief. Good
Herman Archie pulled it down. That one had some heat on it, didn't it?
Threw the ball right between the linebackers, rolling to the left. Archie curls to the inside, trying to find the deep opening between the linebackers and in front of the safety. Number 21, Robinson. Archie made a good catch, going back against the grain and catching it.
Ball is near the 47 of Alabama. First down with 6 minutes to play. Ron Jackson in with McCluskey now. They're still throwing. Dump it off. Hockaday. Another Georgia first down. Close to the Alabama 35.
Keith, I'll never forget the Penn State game when Georgia didn't do anything and scored in 15 seconds before the half, moved 80 yards. This is a delayed play where Hockaday waits and fakes a block and then comes off the block. The linebackers had dropped very deep, covering the wide receiver. Excellent call.
4 straight now for Johnson. Too high. Off the one stretched hand of Herman Archie.
Good strong arm by Johnson. Tough throw to the boundary. 15-yard. Johnson is a redshirt freshman, 6'4", mostly a pure passer, not a good runner, playing in his first college game, national television.
This is Tron Jackson. And he's close to the 30, about 4.5 yards short of the first down as Wayne Davis grabbed his legs. And Johnson is also the first black athlete ever to start at quarterback at the University of Georgia.
Well, Keith, that particular play, the fake pass and run was set up beautifully. Jackson, Tron, is their fastest back, and he had a chance really to break through and make a long run. Puts Georgia in 3rd and 5, and they're right on schedule for the first down. Makes it a lot easier than 3rd and 10. As we look at Johnson's numbers.
4:50 to play in the ball game. 13-3 Alabama. The pass is caught. Great catch by Osborne. Oh-wee, that was a great catch.
Osborne is going to stretch out. When he turns inside, the ball is led to his inside. When quarterbacks are taught to throw low and inside, ball's a little bit higher than he probably wanted, but an outstanding catch, and he holds on to it. When his left arm hits the ground, he puts it in his right arm so it won't pop out.
And it's just short of the 10-yard line of Alabama. First down, Georgia. Ron Jackson and Henderson and Johnson throwing. Drills it. End zone. Touchdown. Hockaday.
Is that poise? That's what we talked about passing. What we can do is the great equalizer. Georgia has not done anything running the football. All of a sudden, they open up and move down the field beautifully. Look like Brigham Young, Miami, any other great passing team. This is an outstanding throw, Keith. I mean, he put some zip on this ball. It's drilled between the two defensive men. Turner 37, Robinson 21. Two outstanding players, and they seem to be going for two.
They are. Johnson's in there.
They want a field goal chance to win. Touchdown. They went for one. It would put them in a field goal to tie.
Now they've called a timeout. I think George Hafner got involved in it, didn't he?
George is the offensive coordinator and a very good one. Keith, I've seen Georgia do this so many times. It looked like just a normal game.
So they'll take time to rest. They'll take time to talk. You've got 4:21 to play in the game.
They say there's just no way to make today's lighter cars ride like yesterday's heavy cars. But Goodyear engineers said,
is that so?
And created air springs to work in a computerized suspension system. So even light cars can corner like a running back and ride like a dream. See how you can make things better when you don't listen to what they say? Goodyear.
10 plays, 76 yards, 4 minutes and 17 seconds for the Georgia Bulldogs, and now they're going for 2, trying to make it a 13-11 ball game. Under Vince Dooley, their record here at Sanford Stadium is 29-2.
Keith, that's in the decade of the 80s, isn't it?
Yeah.
Georgia will move the ball to the left hash mark so that they can have more room to the right.
They've got Henderson and McCluskey in there. The crowd official, 81,277, though I was told all the tickets had been picked up. Had sort of tacky weather around this part of the country. A lot of rain yesterday, and it was rainy again this morning. But it cleared up in the afternoon and got quite warm.
How about hot?
Yeah, how about hot? Let's see if Hockaday is the man here. He comes wide. Archie comes wide. Henderson in motion. Johnson rolls to Hockaday's side. Throws in the corner, and it's no good. Intended for Keith Henderson. Had his hands on it, but it was a little out in front, and he couldn't stretch to it.
It's another one of those freshmen. Henderson, playing in his first college game, was in high school last year. True freshman.
Now, as Georgia will kick off after this timeout, you will have 4:21 to play in the game.
Once again, Denny's Grand Slam breakfast is at the remarkably low price of $1.99. And just look at all you get. 2 large fresh eggs, 2 juicy sausage legs, 2 strips of sizzling bacon, and 2 pancakes with hot syrup and butter. Denny's Grand Slam breakfast, only $1.99 through the end of October. And only at Denny's, where you'll like our prices and you'll love our food.
The crowd getting back into the game. As Georgia came down and scored, missed on the 2-point try, 13-9 ball game. Chester Braggs is deep now, as Crumley will kick off for the Bulldogs. 4-point margin for the Crimson Tide. You feel, I know, Frank, that Alabama now must get a little more fanciful in their offense.
I don't believe they can sit on the ball with the way Johnson looked on that last drive. I think Georgia has found them a quarterback. Alabama had 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they're lined up perfectly.
High kick going to the goal line, a yard deep. And I think he made a good decision. Puts his knee down, and he'll come out to the 20.
Now it's up to the Georgia defense to position themselves to win the ball game. They've got to stop Alabama on 3 plays, force the kick, then they'll have good field position. Now it gets tight. The old coaches get tight right here. and this is where the advantage of Ray Perkins of calling his own plays. He doesn't have to turn to the signal caller and say, I want to do this. It's up to him. He's make the decision. He has the grasp of the offense. He'll make the play. He can call it right here. Whatever he feels is best.
Here comes the crowd. Good and Turner in the backfield behind Shula. It's Turner. 3 yards. 57, Kenny Sims. Big long arm took his feet out from under him.
Georgia has, what, 2 timeouts, Keith? Is that
one? Both teams have 1 timeout remaining. Alabama lost 1 on that equipment charge.
Looking at the wrong scoreboard. Doesn't have it on that one. That's the reason I couldn't find it.
2nd and 7.
Big play coming up.
Gives it to Kerry Good. And Good is to about the 27, so it'll be 3rd and 3. Play selection so far in the game. Alabama, 58 plays, 51 runs.
Henry Harris, the nose guard, came close to taking that handoff off of Shula's hand. He did. It was a trap play where they let him across the line, and then we're going to block him, but he was so deep, he nearly took the ball right from Shula. Oh, is this the big one? This is the key to Georgia right here.
Timeout. Well, the crowd got into it.
Yes, sir.
Alabama now has spent its last timeout. Time remaining in the game. 3:08. Alabama 13. Georgia 9.
There are lots of furnaces you can choose for your home. But for the most efficient energy, forget all but the gas furnaces. And to cut energy costs further, consider only the high-efficiency gas furnaces. Of those, only one has advanced pulse technology, the Lennox Pulse Furnace. It will make your heating more efficient.
Take it from Dave Lennox. You can save a lot of gas with a Pulse.
Attaboy, Dave!
Gas, America's best energy value.
No matter how hard you work, Right Guard can help keep you smelling good for up to 24 hours.
You work hard, you need Right Guard.
This is Brush Plus from Gillette. A shaving concentrate and brush in one. A brush to lift whiskers, a concentrate to soften them. A shave that is superior. Brush Plus for a superior shave.
Well, I gave you all the vital stats going into the commercial break. 3rd and 3, 3:08 to play. 4-point Alabama lead. If they don't make the first down here, they'll have to punt it away. Georgia is bound to get pretty good field position out of it if they handle the punt. And the crowd is in the middle of it. Option. Shula kept it. First down.
Well, I called it right. That's the son of Don Shula. It was a great play. I told Keith they'd either run the option play or a little play-action pass. Those are the two things that had success with. And Shula, good judgment. Grew up in a football family, of course. Knew what was at stake, knew how to make the play. Georgia was inside. All he had to do was keep the ball and turn up. Alabama had walled off the inside. No one there to make the play. Finally, Williams, number 90, brings him down.
Ball is just beyond the 31 of Alabama, where it is a first down. And now 2:35 to play in the game. And I think you've got movement by Alabama, don't you?
That's what the Georgia people were pointing. The offensive guard moved. Now, Keith, in the college rules, after a penalty, when the clock is running, will start as soon as the team is ready. And, in fact, Alabama...
Delay of game, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Ran out of time, that's what it was. The guard stood up, but ran out of time. Tonight on ABC News Nightline, following your local news, we'll have the latest report on the fury of Hurricane Elena. Damage may be in the billions. Ted Koppel will be talking to a number of people live in the hardest hit areas. Tonight on Nightline, following your late local news here on ABC. Terry Good with the ball is spun down right about the line of scrimmage. It was 1st and 15 from the 27, and Good is downed by Mitchell and Little.
Give the Georgia defense so much credit. They played, what, Keith? Probably 42-43% of the game. Let's see Little, number 19. Comes all the way from the outside and picks up the ball carrier, breaking and folding to the outside. He's right there with a perfect tackle. Technique was outstanding.
If you were right a minute ago when you said they found a quarterback, they might get hard to handle.
That's exactly right. I believe they found him a quarterback.
Bobo is in the lineup now for Alabama. 2nd down and 15. Little delay with Terry Good. Pursuit is fierce, and he gets to about the 29. So they'll be looking at 3rd and 13. And now you've got 1:40 to play in the game. Georgia with 1 timeout remaining.
Keith, I believe Georgia will use it after this play. If they stop them, they will use it and call the timeout, save as much time as they possibly can for their passing. Alabama's beautifully taking the time. 7 seconds on the clock. 4,
3, 2. Gets it off at 2. Little shovel pass inside to the running back, Bobo, the fullback.
Timeout, quick.
And right now, Georgia has called time. That's stopping the clock at 1:04 to play in the game. Alabama's got a punt. Georgia will return it, and then it's up to Wayne Johnson and company from there.
Well, let's talk about Wayne Johnson. He's had a great fourth quarter. Keith, I agree. I believe that Georgia's found him a quarterback. We'll be right back.
There's a style in your life no one could ever deny. You're on your way to the top, and along the way you've always known just who you are. Where you're going, you've always known it. Where you're going, it's Michelob.
Where you're going, it's exceptionally smooth Michelob.
Where you're going, it's Michelob.
This fall, millions of people will change their antifreeze, but not their radiator hoses. It's an easy mistake to make because hoses can look good outside even when they're wearing out inside. So put in Quality Gates hoses the next time you change antifreeze. Because if your hoses go, your car won't.
Fourth down. Alabama will punt. Deep man for Georgia is Fred Lane. He's a junior. He's a speedster. He's a wide receiver. Georgia's in return posture. They don't show they're going after him, but not with. Oh, it's blocked! It is blocked! It is blocked and into the end zone, and it is touchdown Georgia. I don't believe it. Calvin Ruff covers it, and I believe it was Terry Webster who blocked it. Unbelievable.
How many times have we seen Georgia? The flags or the team running out on the field.
Yeah, because of the celebration.
15-yard penalty on the kickoff.
Listen to the crowd. 50 seconds to play. The Bulldogs block a punt and get a touchdown.
Somebody on the Georgia defense came clean. I don't know who busted the play.
It was Webster came clean. I think it was number 60. Might have been Henry Williams, 90. 60, Webster. The extra point is good. Crumley knocks it through. It's 16-13 Georgia.
I think I was just kidding myself by saying Georgia might pull it out. They've done it so many times. But here again, a typical Georgia game. Fourth quarter.
The man who made the play, though, Frank, listen, he is a redshirt freshman from Haines City, Florida.
I wish we could see what happened, whether he came clean or whether they had a stunt. Georgia made 1, 2.
He's a reserve linebacker.
And the kicker took 3 long steps, Keith, and he didn't get the ball high. A freshman kicker kicking in his first game. I don't know whether we can run that back again. Yesterday, Keith, we talked about him being a step-and-a-half kicker. He took a half a step with his right foot all yesterday and stepped with his left foot, 86.
Calvin Ruff.
Calvin Ruff. The second one in. Let's see what happens on the play. The tackle blocks out, and the left guard does not block it. The left guard busted the play. What a great effort, though, Keith. He left his feet, went out in front where the ball would be leaving the foot, and then number 86, Calvin Ruff, pushes the ball in the end zone and recovers it for the touchdown. Well, mistake. First ball game. As we look at Ray Perkins, must feel like the world has come down on him. Had the game won, a mistake in the foot kicking game. let's establish the second man from the left in red. The third man from the left is the one that blocks him. And he just gets a piece of him. The second man from the left released out to block the end. The third man from the left offensively tried to block him, and he didn't get enough of him to knock him off balance. The second man on the left of Alabama turned out to block the end, and I think that was the mistake because the end stayed in and blocked. Two men blocked one, leaving.
Well, now Rupp pushed the ball in the end zone.
Yes, and that's legal.
Reached underneath and got it. Georgia's assessed 15 yards for the big celebration in the end zone, and the kickoff will come from the 25, and Bobby Humphrey, a speedster, is back there. So here's your kickoff by Crumley, and it's short with collision down there for Alabama, and it'll be down just short of the 30. Sean Lee came over as Humphrey was racing to get to the ball and simply couldn't get there, so Lee came across to pick it up, and they collided. Now Shula is 5 out of 8 for 67 yards in the ball game. He has no timeouts to work with, and he's got 50 seconds remaining to play in the game, and Georgia leads 16-13.
And Shula has to work with three outstanding receivers in Bell, the junior college graduate, Richardson, and tight end Chandler.
They line up now double to the top of the picture. The two wide receivers are together for the first time tonight. Richardson and Bell.
Well, it's not Richardson out there. It's someone else, I think. I didn't see 21. I didn't recognize. It looked like he was.
No, he's number 1. He's inside
Bell.
of Richardson.
Okay.
Good comes in motion, becomes the third wide man on the left side, and Shula throws it as far as he can for Good, and it's too long. Now, Bell and Richardson are going to come back, and they will talk with 44 seconds remaining. It looked to me like that Bell was all by himself down the middle.
Georgia was playing man for man. Brantley was covering Good out of the backfield. Here's the person who blocked the kick, number 60, Webster. Red shirt freshman. Is he happy? What a great play.
He's Walter Mitty right now.
And he certainly is. And you said that at the beginning of the ball game, who would be the Walter Mitty today? He has to be it.
Shula back, gets some pressure, steps away from it, throws the ball to the sidelines to Richardson, steps out of bounds, up at 45 for a first down, and you've got 36 seconds to play in the game.
Alabama must keep in mind a tie obviously is better than a defeat as Richardson pushes deep. Remember, the situation is such as Georgia is playing everything deep, forcing the receivers up in front of them, gives Richardson a chance to catch it and step out of bounds. And they can tie it with a field goal. That's what I was going to say.
Well, they take a tie right now. I'm sure.
Yes, they would take a tie.
First down, ball just short of the 45 of Alabama. Jelks, another speedster in there. Shula getting good protection, gets it away. Bell's in the middle, and he's down at the 30, and now they're within Van Tippen's range.
And the clock stops with the first down. Alabama has a chance to get up on the ball, Keith, get their play call. Shula is giving them the play, hurry up offense, telling everybody where to go. The clock will start as soon as the chains are set. Shula
29 seconds.
With no timeouts, Keith. Here's the blitz.
Richardson breaks to the sidelines, has the ball, steps quickly out, inside the 20, out of bounds at the 17, first down Alabama. 20 seconds.
What poise Shula is showing. I think Georgia is giving a little bit too much cushion. They're giving the receiver 8 and 10 yards, and the situation is such they ought to be playing, I think, like they did early in the ball game, right up on top of them. Now, Keith, if Shula should get sacked, somehow they're going to have to line up quickly and throw the ball out of bounds to stop the clock. They won't have time to get the field goal kicker in the ball game. They've got to be real careful here.
I'd throw it in the end zone from here, wouldn't you?
Yes, sir. He's open.
Bell, and it's touchdown, Alabama.
What a great performance by Shula. It was a pick play. I'm not sure it was an illegal pick play, but the man covering Bell was blocked off by an Alabama player or one of his teammates. And he came perfectly clean, wide open down the middle, Georgia being in a blitz, man-for-man coverage. Shula goes the ball.
Incredible drive by the Alabama Crimson Tide as Mike Shula with no timeout. And the people who made the big catches for them were Greg Richardson and Albert Bell. And Bell gets his second touchdown of the night. He caught 4 passes for 78 yards and 2 TDs, and Van Tippen nails the extra point. And with 15 seconds to play in the ball game, it goes back the other way, 20-16. So what had been at times an almost boring college football game in its conservatism and its mistakes in the early season suddenly explodes here in the waning moments, and the teams come up with remarkable efforts.
Keith, let's watch Bell, number 1. It seemed to me that this man got screened off. Well, I couldn't see right there. The linebacker was covering him, and that is a mismatch. I'm not sure who that was covering him. It looked like it was a linebacker, 86. See who's covering Bell. Bell is lined up in left, goes in motion, and Georgia has to adjust their defense. Right there, number 16, Willis, tried to collision him, and Bell escaped him, had the ability to escape. Junior college, right out of Kansas, never played a varsity game, had the credentials to be the outstanding receiver or player in junior college last year. Came to Alabama and is a hero in the first college game.
In that drive, Mike Shula was 4 out of 5, 71 yards, and he hit 4 passes in a row to cap it.
What a finish. Here's the passing game, what we talked about before, Keith. Colleges today, it's just impossible to have a dominant defense if you can run and throw. Both teams came out throwing in the 4th quarter and moved the ball down the field to score. At ease, Keith, pretty much at ease.
Yep, seemed like it. 15 seconds remaining as Tippen hits it toward Fred Lane.
Well, if he returns
2
back
yards.
for a touchdown.
Sideline. Out of bounds at the 25 or thereabouts. And Georgia now will have 8 seconds. And Georgia has 1 timeout remaining.
Alabama has come back and won a big ball game that will have lasting effects.
Indeed. It will last the entire season.
Look at Mike Shula. What a tremendous. We said earlier that he's got to make things happen if Alabama is going to have a great season. He made things happen, and there's the dejected. You suppose Don Shula's happy down in Miami?
I bet he's
You
not
better believe it. How about Mama?
Wayne Johnson fires the ball incomplete.
Pass interference on Bennett.
And a flag at the feet of the players involved. Osborne defended by Bennett, and you're right, it's against Bennett.
3 seconds to play as we look at some happy Alabama. Put into perspective, Alabama was 5 and 6 last year. The last team in statistics in the Southeastern Conference. Shula has to make the play. He won the quarterback role in the spring.
Frank,
with no controversy.
When Georgia was involved in their celebration down here, the Georgia Bulldogs were assessed a timeout. There was no indication, at least that I saw, that they had been assessed a timeout. So, the point being, Georgia has no timeouts remaining.
And you know the 15-yard penalty of the Georgia team celebrating.
Against the defense, automatic first down.
So we had a double foul by the defense there.
Well, Keith, let's go back. The 15 yards was critical for the Georgia team celebrating as if they won the ball game.
Sure.
And they would penalize 15 yards on the kickoff and gave Alabama a little bit better field position. Throw it as far as
the 40 now. Johnson cranks it up and throws it out of bounds, and the game's over. The Crimson Tide of Alabama, looking more and more like real red elephants, defeat the Georgia Bulldogs by a score of 20-16.
People's lives better. Something that certainly made my life better was my football scholarship at the University of Alabama. I'll never forget those days under Coach Bryant, and I'll never forget what that scholarship meant to me in allowing me to pursue my career.
College football. It's doing a lot of good.
The preceding message furnished by the College Football Association.
Now in the stadium, On the field performing at halftime, the University of Georgia Redcoat Marching Band. And they, like the football team, came back early because school is not yet in session. But here the band members are, including all of the song girls, the cheerleaders, everybody. And so let us join them for a moment and enjoy the Redcoat Marching Band. A salute to the count. The music of Count Basie with the University of Georgia Redcoat Marching Band. The halftime has come to an end. 7-3 Alabama. We'll be right back.
An ABC News Break brought to you by the fun ships of Carnival Cruise Lines. Now from Washington.
College football action continues with the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Georgia Bulldogs. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Chevrolet. See today Chevy, drive today Chevy, live today Chevy. By Energizer Battery, Energize for life, long life. By Stroh's and Stroh Light, the circle of sports beer. And by the Wall Street Journal, the daily diary of the American dream.
Tim Brandt back here in Georgia with head coach Vince Dooley. And Vince, the first thing I'm going to ask you, because Jackson made some things happen early, will he start the second half?
Yeah, we think that he will. His ankle seems to be okay, and he did put a little life in the offense, and we need some life, and hopefully he'll get it, and our backs have got to start running a little bit tougher.
So at quarterback, it'll be James Jackson. Defensively now, you have to be concerned. They were on the field a long time. They've got to stop some third down plays.
We got to make third down plays. They've done a good job of trapping us, running some plays on third down, and good second effort. We got to start tackling better, making third down plays.
Good luck the second half. All right, Keith.
And we're ready to go. Tim, thank you. As Crumbly comes out, he kicked a 37-yard field goal in the second quarter for Georgia's own the scoring. He'll kick off now. Chester Braggs is the deep man for Alabama. Both coaches using different people for kick returning, trying to find the right one. This is back to the 2. And Braggs is up to the 18. 16-yard return for him. Here's a look at the Georgia defensive people now. Calvin Ruff is the defensive end, 200-pounder. And Henry Williams weighs in at 235 at tackle. Henry Harris at 260. Kenneth Sims at 265. And Greg Waters at 235. The backers, John Brantley, 6'2", 215. Bill Mitchell, 6'1", and 220. And Alabama's going to come out of here with Gene Jelks opening at tailback. He is out of Gadsden, was on the team with Larry Rose, that big offensive freshman tackle. And Gene Jelks just burns it. He has blazing speed. They want to season him a little bit. And he's wearing number 22, and I don't think anybody's worn number 22 at Alabama since Tony Nathan left. So they must have some confidence in him to give him that number. Here are the halftime stats.
As we can see, Alabama had the best of the stats. I think the most impressive thing was Georgia could not move the ball being conservatively. They came out and opened up and threw on virtually every down, and that changed some things. It's going to be interesting to see if Alabama's going to stay with their conservative play, thinking they can just keep the lead and their defense stop Georgia. I don't believe they can. I think Alabama's going to have to loosen up some, and risk-taking is essential, Keith, in football. You can't stay conservative. You'll get buried if you do.
So Good is not in there. It is Gene Jelks, number 22.
That's a tough place to put a freshman for the first time.
They say this one has great promise. They give it instead to Craig Turner, and Turner trying to loop outside with it. That was a mistake. He ran right into Greg Waters, and Waters put him on the ground. A senior from Swainsboro, Georgia. And there's a loss on the play of a yard. The offensive front for Alabama, the same that started the ball game. That's going to be a loss of about 2 yards, so make it second down and 12. The Georgia secondary, Gary Moss, number 3, is Texan. And Michael Willis is the other corner. Strong safety of the Rover is John Little and Tony Fleck. On second and 12, Shula hands it off again to Craig Turner, the fullback. And this time Jelks gets into the melee and took a couple of pops trying to block. So now we might see him get the football now that he has been warmed up a little bit. Cincinnati beating St. Louis 4-1. Pete Rose 0 for 3. He needs 6 more to break Ty Cobb's record. And ABC will interrupt regular programming when Pete Rose does break Ty Cobb's record. We'll show it to you, regardless of the time of day or night. Third down, and now just a little less than 10.
Alabama's run on third down before.
And they do it again. So that's a very conservative series to open the second half. They give on the fullback 3 times, and now they're going to punt it.
Keith, you can get buried trying to be conservative against Georgia. I want to say this. I've been watching Georgia play for many years. I don't ever remember a team beating them running the football. You have to mix it up. The preordained sequence of run, pass on third down won't cut it.
Now it's up to Moore to kick Bama out of a hole. Otherwise, Georgia could have very good field position for its first offensive possession of the second half.
Georgia has 3 backs back to handle the punt. He did boom it.
It's high and hanging, not as long as we've seen him kick. Moss kick.
It's a penalty,
Penalty flag, though, and I think probably you're going to get a call here against Alabama.
There are 2 possibilities here. One is that the defensive man did not give him a 2-yard radius to catch the ball. That is a rule that was put in last year. That will be a 5-yard penalty. If they roughed the safety man who was signaling for a fair catch or didn't give him a chance to catch the ball, that's a 15-yard penalty. We'll see which it is. That's 15 yards.
Did he signal fair catch?
I don't know whether he did or not, but he has to have the right to catch the ball.
I didn't really see
it was 5. 5-yard penalty.
Yeah. 45-yard punt. So they just didn't give him the range. He did not call for a fair catch.
But it doesn't make any difference whether he signals or not. You have to give him 2 yards, and you can see that Alabama man is not giving him 2-yard room to catch the ball. Once the ball starts, it's downward flight.
That's a marginal call, though.
That's the new rule to give the safety man a chance.
It's first down from the 38. And Jackson, the quarterback, drops the ball, running down the line, and Georgia covers it at the 35. So Jackson almost commits a serious mistake. The Alabama defense, Brent Sowell, 255. Kurt Jarvis, the nose guard, 265, and a good one. Big John Hand is 6'7" and 275, and yes, sir. Randy Rockwell, 6'3", 189. Cornelius Bennett, 6'4", 215. The inside backers are Wayne Davis, 6'4", 210, and Joe Godwin, 6'2", and 215. And it's second down and about 12 and a half. Jackson back looking for a pass, which runs to the sidelines and overthrows Jimmy Hockaday. Bad pass by Jackson. Hard to run to your left and throw to your left. The corners for Alabama, Freddie Robinson, 21, 6'1", 175. And this man is the hitter back there. Vernon Wilkinson, 185 pounds. Rory Turner, the safety. He is 180. Ricky Thomas, 185.
Thomas, the strong safety, had been injured and missed much of practice. Recovered this week and made the starting lineup. Started last year and some as a freshman.
Georgia, 3 wideouts now. Jackson back to throw. Gets some pressure, runs away from it. He can do that. But he won't get his first down. As he comes about to the original line of scrimmage, the 38-yard line. Wayne Davis, the linebacker, finally ran him down. And so Georgia makes some noise, but they don't produce a whole lot offensively insofar as yardage is concerned in their first offensive possession. And now they'll go to the punt.
Georgia on that series ran an option play and called 2 passes. That is a sharp departure from what they did starting the ball game for the first quarter and a half.
Chris Carpenter's in to punt. His last kick in the first half was a 51-yarder, his long one of the night. This will be his 5th punt of the night. And it's a good high one. And this time Richardson says, I want to make a fair catch. I had my body bruised severely in that first half. This is only good for 33 yards, but the hang time was very good.
First down for the Crimson. Owning that new Chevrolet just got closer. Announcing Lowe's 7.7% financing on many of our most popular new 1985 Chevys. Save up to $1,284 in finance charges on Cavalier, $1,886 on exciting Camaro Berlinetta, $1,406 on Chevy Celebrity, $1,599 on Caprice, and $1,064 on Chevette. This is a limited time offer, so hurry. You can save up to $1,886 in finance charges. See your Chevy dealer now.
It'll work on your dandruff. Yeah, but I'm afraid it won't leave my hair the way I like it. Hey, this is great stuff.
Today's Head & Shoulders.
It's all I use. Okay.
Tough dandruff protection that works only on your scalp, not your hair. Gentle conditioners go there.
Tough on dandruff, right? But great on hair.
Today's Head & Shoulders. Dandruff care that's good for your hair.
CFA football action keeps on rolling as highly touted Nebraska takes on Florida State. Saturday live at 3 o'clock Eastern on ABC Sports.
Second offensive possession now for Alabama as Mike Shula comes trotting on the field. And when they come out of the huddle, we'll check the backs. There's Turner, and it's still Jelks in there, number 22. He's yet to carry the ball. Last time, the fullback carried it 3 times. And they put it. Jelks has got it. Bounces outside. He can run, picks up 7. Tony Flack brings him down. He just kind of cruised it in and zip outside.
Keith, I was impressed with his first college carry. He showed the speed. He showed good presence of mind. The blocking wasn't there to cut inside. He faked inside and then outran the Georgia secondary and the support to the corner and made 7 or 8 yards. That's the first good gain Alabama's made circling the Georgia defense.
Second down and 3. Ball just over the 35. Jelks slants it over the left side and gets a yard short of the first down. And a little ruckus breaks out on the field, but nothing to it. Greg Waters brought him down. Brantley involved. Brantley stepping in, filling some big shoes. This inside backers, they were so good a year ago. Had Knox, Culpepper for one. I mean, they've had some outstanding linebackers, and I think Brantley's going to be another one.
Keith, that's an outstanding play on Brantley's part. That wasn't a blitz by the linebacker. He read the isolation play, and as soon as he did, he shot the gap, took on the fullback, and stopped the play. That's just outstanding defensive play.
3rd down and 2. And Alabama has been charged with a timeout. They didn't call it as much as they were charged with the timeout for some reason. Apparently broken equipment.
Last year, history's biggest run took place. The 5-mile Stroh's Run for Liberty. This year's run will be even bigger. It's in 127 cities, and it's sponsored by Stroh's, with support from the Plymouth Division of Chrysler. Your entry fee will help restore the statue. And even if you walk, you'll get a medal cast from materials used to build her a century ago. Enter at participating Chrysler Plymouth dealers or wherever you buy Stroh's. Then join us for her sake.
Here's hard-working news from Chevy Trucks. Now there's low 7.7 financing on select new 1985 Chevy trucks. 7.7 on new full-size 2- and 4-wheel drive pickups. New full-size Chevy cargo vans. And new Astro cargo vans. Low 7.7 financing on 85 Chevys. Nothing works harder for your buck. Nothing works like a Chevy truck.
Under the rule this year, a bit of change. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. First, this comment from Ray Perkins on Al Bell.
He catches the ball as well as anybody I've ever seen, with the exception of John Jefferson when I was at San Diego in '78. But everything he touches, he catches it, and he's tough. He'll block. He can run with the ball, and he's got great movement for his lateral movement. He's got lateral movement like a running back.
That's high praise indeed from Ray Perkins, who wasn't too bad himself. This is a pitch outside to Turner on 3rd down and 2, and he doesn't make it. Bill Mitchell, the weak side backer, came across and got him. And it'll be 4th down for Alabama and bring the punting team on the field. Let me explain that new rule to you. Johnson, the tackle for Alabama, had a broken helmet or something, and he didn't get off the field, and so they were charged a timeout, because otherwise he's got to go off and get a substitute in, and he didn't do it, and so Alabama has 2 timeouts remaining, and now the punters are on.
Keith, give Willis, the cornerback, part of the praise for that last play with Mitchell. He forced very quickly, forced the play into the pursuing linebacker for the short gain and stopped him on 3rd down.
More to punt, no pressure on him. Good. Shoots a howitzer. Good grief. It's in the end zone. The yardage, 62 yards. Ooh. Boy, we got 2 kids in this game tonight that can really pop it. Nebraska hosts Florida State next Saturday at 3 Eastern Time. The Seminoles beating Tulane 38-12 in the opener. Tom Osborne will show off his Cornhuskers for the first time next Saturday. It'll be in Lincoln. It'll be another sellout. It'll be exciting. And then September 14, we will have BYU Washington or UCLA Tennessee. So check your local listings. That's a couple of dandies right there. It's 1st down Georgia. The ball at their 20. Jackson is the quarterback. Gives the ball to Lars Tate. And Lars Tate runs it up to about the 26, and a penalty flag comes out of a linesman's pocket. And you might have a face mask.
I believe it's a clipping, Keith.
Or a clip.
The flanker coming inside seemed to make
the
clip. Boy, that's tough on Georgia. Have a little room. Then they get the 15-yard penalty. Takes them right back into long yardage and forces the pressure right on the quarterback, Jackson. Troon Jackson, number 24. No, I'm sorry, Osborne, the wide receiver's coming in.
Red team, half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
That's a rough penalty.
Yes, it is. Something Georgia didn't need at this time. Backed up again as they were most of the 1st quarter.
9 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, 7-3. Alabama leads. James Jackson rolls it left. Running for his life. Wants to throw it, can't.
Boy, what speed Cornelius Bennett has. How do you play outside linebacker? First, his responsibility is to be sure that they don't circle him. When the pass shows, he gets a little penetration, but he then keeps his legs free. First man, then he keeps his leg free for the second time. Now watch his speed. Jackson has great speed. Watch Bennett run him down right there. What a great defensive play.
And it goes down as a sack as the ball comes back to the 10-yard line. Second down and 20. And this is Tate running the ball over right tackle. Big hole, and never really did have his full balance, but even so brings the ball out to the 26.
Horace Tate is a real story for Georgia. Home, Indianapolis, Indiana. Great record. Played some last year. Very tentative. Didn't know really what to expect. Here is an outstanding play of Tate cutting back on a sweep play, seeing a little daylight, running for first 4 yards, then breaking the linebacker clean and making extra yardage.
And on third down and 3, Tron Jackson replaces him. Tate has 30 yards on 7 carries, and James Jackson will throw it. Swing it out to Tron, and there's folks out there waiting for it. Guess who? Number 97, Bennett.
Bennett is all over the field. It's uncanny how the great players are at the right place. Bennett seems to be in the huddle of the Georgia team. Whichever side Georgia runs or passes, Bennett is on that side. And there's no book on Georgia because this is the first game of the season. What a great play.
They will punt now on 4th and 7 as Carpenter comes in.
Once again, Georgia stopped by a penalty, an offensive mistake. First game of the season.
Trailing 7-3. Low kick, but long. And Richardson has to retreat to his 26 to take it. Now gets a crack. And McCluskey runs him down and keeps him from going for 6. A great return by Greg Richardson, but even better, the blocking. The wedge opened a big seam for him, and he took off.
If you called it right when you said a low kick, when you kick the ball 55 yards off the line of scrimmage, then you see some great blocking. Number 56, Greg Gilbert, just a freshman linebacker from Decatur, Georgia, by the way, makes an outstanding block to spring Richardson free for the long run.
And it's first down Alabama at the Georgia 36 with 7:17 to go in the third quarter. The Tide leading 7-3. Shula pitches to Chester Braggs. Braggs trying to sweep. Gets to the 35, and that'll do it.
Roll call for the Georgia defense.